Ladies and gents, we're back. Welcome again. Welcome back once again, and we're starting a little bit earlier tonight. I'm in a completely different time zone anymore, and it kind of makes sense to do things a little bit earlier. I just see that as we may even go even earlier, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes for people watching it at this time. Anyway, welcome back. This is the Wednesday live stream Marty and Clyde show, and this week once again, Yuji is joining us to lend a hand because I do have my studio starting to set up now, but yeah, I don't quite have things going just yet. So Yuji's helping out, and it's so thankful to Yuji for that. Anyway, this is the usual Wednesday Marty and Clyde show we've been doing for 4 years now. Long standing, long running show. And we started doing it live, I think, about 3 years ago. And we're just keeping the tradition going. It's a lot of fun anyway. It's a great way to blow off some steam and just get your opinion out. I find it like, what about you, Marty? Like, I find this like almost like lethargic. It helps me out with frustrations at hand. Just get it off your chest, let it out,
Uh,
let people know about it.
it goes both ways. I mean, it is lethargic, but it's also a weekly reminder that maybe my country more than yours is an absolute dumpster fire. Like that's it's good to talk about it, but it also reminds me every week that this was one of those weeks. By the way, I actually said it openly many times. Like this is a crazy week. Like in Canada, I just want to right now. I just kind of want to leave. It's that crazy. Yeah.
Well, I did exactly that, and that's what you were kind of insinuating at that for people who are listening in and didn't know the news. So I've shipped off. I went southbound, and now I'm in Texas. I live in Texas now. For those that don't know, I've always been a dual citizen, so I've always looked at things from the perspective of someone who grew up in Canada and is American. So for people who are like, yeah, you jump ship, whatever, go screw yourself. Anyway, I made these shirts to commemorate the big move. This is the I Was Canadian shirt. It may look like something that you've seen before. But anyway, we've got these on the store. We got two different designs. For all the expats out there that want to pick one of those up, the link is in the description. And for all the people in Canada that are keen to get that, so the two different designs there. And then there's a bunch of other designs that you're probably going to like, as well as bumper stickers. So if you want to get your hands on some of those, that's the link. The link is in the description. This is where you can see it. But yeah, crazy week. So I've moved to Texas and we haven't set the studio up. So that's going to be a thing. But Marty,
All right.
I haven't talked to you since last week now. So catch me up to speed.
If that's a broad question. That's a broad question. Well, what you mean Canada wise, like or life wise? I mean, life wise is where I'm weirdly right now. One of the big talks is forest fires. Right, it's that time of year. Like everybody's talking
Yes.
about forest fires,
And
forest
it's the
fires.
same story every year. We didn't know that forest fires happen in Canada. Yeah, we
And but we have none here in Alberta this year. Like right now, like Alberta, it's
crazy.
weird. Like we have 13 forest fires going on right now. They're all under like an acre in size, and they're all under control. So, and you guys, I got to stop saying you guys. BC's got a couple, but it's Ontario's turn, right? And that's just the way it is, folks, right? Like it's just like I made a prediction. I made a prediction. We won't have a major fire around Jasper for another 30 years. That's my prediction, and I stand by it. Why? Because we burned everything out there was in Jasper. We
Yeah.
won't have another fire in Fort McMurray or Slave Lake for another 30 years. So it's just the way it is. It goes around and round. And that
So,
was
well,
one of the
so on this, the big thing is forest management. And
yes.
of course, Donald Trump brought this up. Canadians are all pissing themselves because Donald Trump brought this up. But I've been screaming this for years, actually. This is exactly the thing that I've been talking about for several years as the news has been going on about how this is a climate change thing. Trudeau was going on about flying flaming pine cones, if you recall that craziness that politicians have been spouting so that they can get grasp at more power, really is what they were trying to do. But this has been going on for a long time, and real environmentalists like people like what's his
Liam
name,
Parfit. Liam
Liam
Parfit.
Parfit.
Yep.
Yeah, several others. Doctor, I'm drawing a friend. He's from Greenpeace, and he left. He was one
Dr.
of the
Moore,
founders.
Patrick Moore.
Patrick
Yeah.
Moore. So he's been talking about this. He talked about this in his most recent book. He said forest management is the real problem. There's too much brush. Controlled burns need to take place in seasons where it's not so volatile, and they need to come and clean out the overload of fuel on the forest floors in these forests all over Canada and the United States, by the way.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. What happens is when you have these forest fires with a giant fuel load like this, it doesn't turn into an average forest fire. It turns into a crown fire where the entire crown, the whole canopy goes up, and everything in sight gets torched, including the minerals, or not the minerals, but the microbes in the soil, and you end up with
It's
scorched earth. It's
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 crazy.
it sterilizes. Actually, when like the big fire was in Jasper 2 years ago, and when you drive to Jasper now, it looks like a different landscape. You're right. It didn't just kill the trees, it took away the topsoil and it sterilized the ground.
Mhm.
It'll take not years but decades for it to go back to normal, because that fire was so powerful. But I thought, so you cut it short. I thought you're going to go real funny with this one, because Donald Trump, he's criticizing us, but he's also like, he almost went as far as saying, I'm going to have to tariff your smoke or whatever. I mean, like, he made a joke about it, right? And yeah, we are holding responsible for the fact that we are not properly maintaining their forest. I don't want to read the whole thing, and I don't want to get too deep into it. I mean, Donald made a joke about it. It's okay to make a joke.
Yeah.
I will say one serious thing though to Donald Trump. Our forests what we call our contiguous forest, is 70 times larger than the American forest.
Oh, I thought you were going to
So
say Canadians don't have a sense of humor.
no, we have a sense of humor, but in all fairness, we do have an extremely, even if we had really, really, really good forest management, like even if we had the best forest management that we could muster, we'd still have big fires like this once in a while, because our forest is huge, right? I
Mhm.
posted this. It's hard for most people to appreciate just how freaking big our forest is. Like, it's,
You could
and it
call it
is
forest, or you could call it just undeveloped country.
the undeveloped part of, the undeveloped forest. Like our boreal forest is only 1% of it is developed, accessible by roads.
Yeah,
Like, that's
there's
yeah
so much. I mean, I've
yeah
been to places in parts of Canada where there's only train access, and they have train ferries, or you can load your car up on a train. There's
yeah
some places where they're only flying in access. Like,
yeah.
it's crazy. These places exist.
Now, I know we don't read a lot of. I actually keep an eye on the comments, and you say at the beginning, right? We're not ignoring your comments, folks. We will come back to the comments, but there are some
Mhm.
interesting comments. I just wanted to go. Somebody brought up Ben Tizalian 469 there, UG, if you can find it, the one at 6:36 p.m. No, he had another one that says, "Did you guys see the 7 fires in a perfectly straight line in Ontario?" Yeah, and so it's forest fire season. Trudeau leaked it out one year, right? It's like, our forest fire season started a little early, or we started it early this year. Like, Trudeau literally said we started it early one time. And there's no doubt in my mind that a lot of the fires are arson. And as
Yeah.
that account pointed out, I pointed the same thing out in Alberta a year ago, when we had a big season. All the forest fires were starting at the end of remote dirt roads. Like, you know
At
what I
the
mean? Like,
end, right at the end
yeah,
of
like, like fire
right.
experts can see which way a fire is propagating and whatever. It's like, oh, look, it started there, there, and then you zoom in, you go, oh, there's the end of a road, there's the end of a road, there's the end of a road, right? Like, it's anyways, no,
Well,
yeah.
and
So
then there
that
was
was
the other footage from last year. Tim Pool pointed it out, where the satellite footage showed several fires all popping up at the same time of day, and it was really suspicious. They
yeah.
tried to rule it out as being lightning, but lightning doesn't strike 30 locations at the
In a perfect
same
straight
time.
line.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yuji, while we keep talking, maybe try and find a video. There's fire, and North America is not the only place with fires right now. There's a couple in Europe going on, but there's some really cool videos, and frustrating at the same time. France is using Canadair bombers to fight their fires. France has more fucking Canadair bombers than we do, and we make them here. Like, that's kind of maddening, right? And but there's a cool video that shows them all in line scooping down on a river and picking up water, and then there's all these Frenchmen sitting on the beach like suntanning in front of as the bombers go by. There were similar videos last year in California, but it's really cool. Like, it's frustrating, right? We make this beautiful technology, these Canadair, whatever, CL-215 water bombers, and we should have a whole fleet of them, but we don't.
No.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there you go.
Is that the footage?
Yeah, something like that. Like,
Yeah, the audio.
yeah. Anyways, by the way,
So it's really cool to see because it was a few summers ago. The shop I worked at had a staff party, and the boss had a big wake boat, and we went out to this lake up in Darcy, British Columbia. Beautiful place, but there was some forest fires going on just around the peaks there, and yeah, they were just picking up from the lake. So the whole time we're wakeboarding around, and they're picking up from the lake.
and actually, my head is exploding right now because I want to go. Like, I want to go to Doug Ford's comments regarding Trump. But before we go there, just because I posted, speaking of those bombers, I reposted a meme that's been common. Right, there's a meme that circulates in Canada that always says for the whatever $20 billion we sent to Ukraine, we could have bought 350 water bombers and plus crews. And there's a meme like that. I reposted that meme today, and it was hidden behind a warning label on X.
What?
Yeah, because we're starting to see it, Clyde. You criticize the government, and it gets stuck behind a warning label. I posted it, and then a whole bunch of accounts are like, Marty, check this out. Then they showed me screenshots of how they're seeing it, and it's behind a warning label. Sensitive content. Criticizing the government in Alberta is sensitive content. We could go all over the place. We could actually go into this because the Center for Canadian Justice or whatever already put out a warning that Canadians are being called. Like, C9 is taking effect, and Canadians are already getting that warning exactly right there.
Yeah, it's really crazy because a lot of people, they're starting to get visits at their houses from police officers. They're starting to get their accounts are being taken down off of X. And I don't know how this is working. Like, is X going to be forthcoming that they're just complying with government's requests in Canada? What about American accounts? What about Canadians who are Americans? I mean, my account still says based in Canada, but I'm logged in Texas. I've changed my address for all purposes on X, but it still shows Canada. So
it'll probably change pretty quickly. And no, you're bringing up a question that everybody's asking. Like, we know they won't admit that they're complying, but we know they're complying, right? We know. Like, I mean, I had that crazy, like, folks, I'm telling you stories and I'm not making up lies. Like even today, this thing about the being hidden, I could bump it up on the top of my timeline and show it to you. It's no different than, there you go. Like, that's somebody, that Splinter, who's like, our government stopped promoting healthy living. There was a tweet attached to that, and I was like, I had two, actually. That's the second one today. I had two that had content warnings for being critical of the government, right? Again, I'm being critical of the government here, saying that they're not promoting healthy eating. That's not the water bomber one, but that's same idea. I got two that got criticized. And then I had the other one that I had that was censored on Facebook was I saw a critical post about it was a critical post about Alberta independence, and I answered somebody. So it was I just replied to somebody's critical post about Alberta independence, and then when I went to hit post, I got a warning that said Meta does not allow news to be posted online. I'm like, this is not news. I'm replying, but the way I worded my post was so news-like that Meta wouldn't let me post it. I had to rewrite it as a post. Like I was answering somebody with facts, and I sort of like doing
Hmm.
paragraph form, and I guess I wrote it too nicely, and so I had to rewrite it and tone it down to get it posted on X.
So it didn't
So
sound like on Meta on
on
Facebook.
Meta, yeah. So it didn't sound like I was a CBC or a CTV article. I was like,
That's ridiculous.
it's happening. Yeah, we're getting censored, man. I'm not. I like. I asked
I
a
was trying
question
to find
last.
your tweet there because I wanted to see from the United States what it looks like. But
Okay, well let me push it up to the top, and then
oh,
I
that's a good
tweeted it a
idea. Yeah.
lot. Yeah, I tweeted a lot today. Where the hell?
Yeah, push it up as soon as
Oh,
it's
here
up
it
to the
is.
top.
Okay, here
Then
it
yeah,
is.
let me
Here it
know.
is. Um. Uh, okay, so I'm pushing this tweet up to the top. Okay, so whatever. So actually, that's a good tweet. Bring it up. It's just a graphic. It's just a graphic of how the Canadian government spent its money in 2024, 2025. It's just a heat map that shows the size of the bubbles is proportional. Okay, so you can see it.
The one
Obviously,
that says this is how
yeah,
Ottawa spent your tax dollars.
yeah. Okay, so you can see it. That's cool. So you can see it. Some people couldn't see it.
I can totally see it,
Yeah. Okay,
and
so
Yuji can see it right now.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
anyway, he's in Canada, so
But some people took screenshots and sent it to me and showed me that the image was censored under a warning. Actually,
that's
yeah.
outrageous.
By the way, again, that was an example that if you show back that image, UG the graph. I mean, that's not that one. Mine actually, I like what somebody did there. That's it. That's literally just facts. Okay, that's just facts. That's just a graphic that
Those are
shows.
illegal in Canada, Marty. What are you doing
Yeah,
trying to spread facts?
yeah, and people were shocked at that. Like that's literally it just shows that Canada, the largest amount of money we spent in Canada, the federal government spent in 2024-25 is $80 billion for old age security, $53 billion on interest payments, and then employment insurance and Indian affairs. And I was critical of this graph because right away I go like, oh, okay, well, there's $100 million I could easily scrap. I mean, yeah, we're getting censored. This is an example. They don't want us sharing facts.
This is crazy,
Yep.
just crazy, absolutely crazy. But I mean, obviously, Joe Biden tried to do this only a few years ago, and of course, he was criticized, and even left wingers came out and were like, "No, you can't have a ministry of truth. What are you doing? This is the United States of America." But clearly, in Canada, they didn't put up much of a fuss about it.
No, and then to your question earlier of like, is Meta going to admit they're doing it, or is X going to admit they're
Yeah.
doing it? What the rest of us are starting to do, what we do is we do little experiments, right? So I take that graph for instance, and I post it, and then I'll ask a friend of mine, like Yukon Strong, and I'll say, hey Yukon, just on your own, go find that, grab that same picture, save it on your computer, and then reuse it and make a post, and when you post, does it get blocked? So I'm going to test whether it's me who's getting blocked or whether it's the
Hmm.
content. And then same thing. Then I'll say, okay, you Clyde, try it, or I'll find an American, and we'll figure it out. Like we start to share information, and we start to see instances where it's an individual like me being censored, other instances where it's the content, and other instances where we go, well, makes no sense. I have no idea what's going on.
Well, and then well, we need to find out if they're actually talking with Meta and X behind the scenes. So what would that take? Like, what would the purpose of, like, for example, X? Why would X conceal that? Like, there might be the argument to say, well, if people would lose trust in X if they, and maybe other governments would be able to pull off a similar thing, but people would just find out about it anyway, and then they'd have less trust in X in the end of the day. Why? What would
Yeah.
motivate them to hide that?
Well, what I'm thinking is happening in X in particular and in Meta is that certain accounts like mine, like yours, are given to individuals to monitor. there is some monitoring going on. They're not letting us do our own thing completely freely. There are people monitoring us. There are also people reporting on us and so forth. And so Meta personally X might not have a policy. I mean, Elon probably doesn't even know about some of the stuff that's happening in his organization, right? And so we have to highlight it. So what happened today could just be an example of that. All it takes is one sort of rogue person at X who's more Canadian and whatever, pro-liberal, who starts to take matters into his own hand. I mean, that was happening at X in particular a lot. Like before
They
Elon.
fired everybody who was doing
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, and that was
Yeah.
not very long ago. It was quite recent, actually.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about the algorithms and stuff like that. Like, that algorithm's complicated. One person puts a comment, can put like 2-3 lines in the algorithm, and the next thing you know, a bunch of people are censored. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I'm not going to question the motives of. There's a lot of reasons to want to censor. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
No, there's a lot of reasons to want to censor. My question of the motives, if they're keeping it secret at X, why would they keep it secret? Their whole motto and the whole thing since Elon took over was transparency. So wouldn't it be advantageous to thwart what it is the Canadian government's doing by making it apparent, making it
Yeah. No, I agree.
like,
But again,
just outing
Elon,
them
it's a huge organization, and Elon doesn't know everything that's happening, right? So
for
even if
sure.
I try to report it, I mean, I've tried to report certain things, same thing. Like, it's weird where I succeed once in a while in reporting somebody impersonating me, and then in other instances I don't succeed. And you go, well, why does one report of I'll report a violation of the community guidelines, or appeal a strike, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I mean, it's a big organization. So anyways, that's
And then there's the automated services on top of it. So
yeah.
I mean, I just had a video today on YouTube get flagged for demonetization, and it was Lindsey Graham talking on the Senate floor.
Right.
And like what they say in office on the Senate floor, like, is that should that be considered not safe for YouTube? Are you kidding me?
Right. And actually, just by the way, just because I remember, the water bomber, Ukraine/water bomber post being hidden behind as offensive content, it could simply be the word bomber.
Yeah.
Right. So, or in
Mhm.
combination, it's got Ukraine and bomber. So then money wasted on Ukraine equals 350 water bombers. So that was the other one got hidden. And so that's somebody else showing me that they couldn't see that post. And so what's sensitive about that? Maybe it was the word bomber. But then again, that's where I'd like to do the experiment and give it to somebody else. I didn't have time today, but you post it or somebody else post it and see how it, for all I know, maybe that account that couldn't see it is based out of Ukraine or Europe or Poland or someplace like that. You never know. So,
Right.
yeah,
That's another thing. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm always willing to do these experiments. Send them over to me, Marty.
Now, at the end of the day, I will say this: I've not been canceled on X. There's been a lot of accounts, like you saw who's the big one that got canceled this week? The Buck You Will or whatever. Like there was an account that got canceled, and there's efforts to cancel us, and I'm glad I've been hard to cancel. I think people have tried, but I've been hard to cancel.
Yeah. It's doing the little dance. It's doing the dance that they, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to challenge it though. I want to challenge these Canadian laws because, well, especially since I've left, and I want to push. I want to push hard. Like there was that story this week where, what was it, the native chief who was saying, um, you, of course the children are there, they're talking
Oh,
to us, and they're saying this, and it's like, we're not allowed to contest that. We're not supposed to be allowed. They're actually trying to make it illegal to contest it. Listen to the nonsense that comes out of this guy's face.
it's total nonsense.
Concisely, we're asked if it's possible to exhume graves all over this nation, 133 residential schools, At least 100,000 of our people were in these residential schools. Thousands of them did not make it home. No account of what happened to them, no account of how they died, and no account
Who
of
they
where
are.
they're laid to rest. And I don't think we should have to prove to anybody what happened to these people because they are there.
Like, pause it for a second, Yuji. Like the guy's saying there's no account of how they died. Okay, then let's go dig them up and let's do that's amazing what we can do, right? If we can dig it up, we might find out how somebody died.
There's no account of who they are, or that
no account of who they are. Well, let's go dig them up. Maybe we'll be able to identify the bones or something, right? But then in the same, then he does the mental gymnastics of I don't want to know. And he's not the only one, right? Francis
No, he
Whittleson,
goes even further. He goes even further.
Sure,
Marty.
keep playing it. Keep playing it
because it gets crazy. It gets so crazy.
There's messages telling us they're there. And Chief Kashmir and I went to visit the sacred site. You can tell they're there, right? Feel the power and the energy. For somebody that's not from our communities, that doesn't understand our culture, you cannot understand what that means. But we do. And we just don't go into any cemetery and start digging up graves just to prove that someone died. It is disrespectful to our culture. Briefly.
See, the thing is, you've got to prove that someone died. That's the problem. There's no proof that anybody died, period. Like, there's no proof that anybody was, like, hundreds of thousands of children unnamed, no parents to say my children are missing. Nothing. Nada. And for all intents and purposes, it looks like a septic field. They just made up a story, and then they expect you to. One guy commented back at me because I said, like, this is just ludicrous that the Canadians, like, I'm more surprised. I'm not surprised that these people pull this crap, but I am surprised that Canadians put up with it and actually go along with it. But one guy came at me. He's like, "Well, are we just going to dig up your dead relatives? You know, what if somebody wanted to do that?" I said, "Well, if I made an accusation that you murdered them, then yeah, you'd want some proof." You absolutely, and
yeah,
you have to pay me every month for that accusation. It's freaking believable.
So that guy, and then they refer to their knowledge keepers, right? Like, we have knowledge keepers. That's what he'll say, right? We have knowledge keepers, and that's all I need to worry about is my knowledge keepers. I'm like, yeah, I have knowledge keepers too. It's called books. It's called grave registries. It's called whatever, right? And where's your knowledge keeper? And and he's not alone. I mean, Francis Whittleson and Jim McMurtry are,
yes.
they have a ton of videos where Jim's patient, right? I've seen Jim on campus where he'll confront somebody, and the other guy will go like, "Why would I want to know?" And Jim says the same thing. Well, you're making an accusation. Well, why would I want to know? I don't need to know. It's like, well, you just make,
well, then forget anything ever happened then. Leave it at, you don't even know that people died. Leave it at, you have no clue, right? But no, you want to grab onto this because you're a victim. And as long as you get to be a victim, then you get a paycheck. So yeah, we want to end the paycheck, and that's why we want the proof. So if you can't deliver proof, the grift has to end today.
Well, and
I'll eat my hat if it's true. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then last week, I mean, this comes in light of last week, the Assembly of First Nations had their annual meeting or annual assembly. They don't call it an annual general meeting. They call it an annual assembly.
They don't call it a powwow.
Yeah. And then immediately at their assembly, they're like, that's all they talked about is veto, like over our dead bodies. There's no way, I watched that and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then nothing's changed. And then I'm turning to Carney going like, how are you going to deal with this, dude? Like, because they are basically telling you bluntly, there's not going to be no pipeline. There's not going to be anything. But people are back to, I think it's part of one of the themes I wanted to talk about tonight. People are waking up and getting mad and frustrated, right? Like, with the country is in deep, deep trouble right now, like deep trouble. People are like, I'm glad people are realizing The tariffs are hurting. The economy is taking a shit kicking. Inflation was released this week. Inflation was 2.8%. And you and I know, again, it's just a bullshit number. It's worse than that. But the liberals are trying to make us believe that, oh, it's 2.8%. People are going, no, man, it's more than that. I bought a pound of butter for $4.99 2 years ago. It's $10.99. People are able to do the math in their head, and they're starting to hurt. And what do we have going on this week? We have Doug Ford standing at a podium mocking Donald Trump. You got to find that clip in a minute, Yuji. You got a first minister's meeting in Prince Edward Island going on right now. What are they talking about? Same thing. The economy's tanking. Trump just imposed 50% tariffs on a whole bunch of new products, and the first ministers are still talking about banning bourbon. Like you know.
It's a lot to swallow right there, Marty. Because first off, the tariffs, the new tariffs, are not because of the smoke. As much as the media will tell you that it's that tweet that the fires are about, or sorry, that the tariffs are about. The tariffs are about what we've been talking about for freaking 2 years now. It's crazy that Canada has still these trade restrictions and trade barriers into the market, the Canadian market, when the United States for so long has been so kind to Canada and said, here you go, you can have unfettered access while you give us unfair access. It's crazy. And Trump is not letting go of this dairy thing, because he's talking about 200% tariffs, 400% tariffs on this stuff. The detractors will say, well, nobody pays the tariff. Nobody's ever paid it. It's called a barrier to entry. You can't outright ban it. So you put a 400% tariff on it, and it's a virtual ban, because no one's going to pay that tariff. It's stupid.
And on our side, whatever, not our side, but yeah, you got Doug Ford and you got David Eby and you got all the others this week that keep saying Trump is the instigator. He's not the instigator. He told us what we need to do, and we're not doing it, right? We're not doing it. You're right. We're not doing it.
In fact, it's worse than not doing it. The first thing that the Carney government did when they got into office, the very first thing that they passed, and they pushed this through. Is it C2 or S2?
C2. Can't even talk about it in trade negotiations. Can't even talk about it.
This is in the law now. It's in global affairs, where they're not allowed to talk about dairy. They're not even allowed to. If dairy comes up, they got to say,
we're out of here. Can't even talk about it. So he told us what to do. And I mean, and we wouldn't even be sacrificing, by the way, right? Like, you and I know this. If we took away some of the food, the dairy and cheese restrictions, it wouldn't be like it would wipe out our industry. It wouldn't do that. It wouldn't wipe out our industry, because it would adapt, right? Somebody like I visited your province last month, BC, your former province, and I went somewhere and we had chickens and they were beautiful, right? And I stopped and I was like, why these eggs were so amazing? And I'm like, yeah. The guy says they're free roaming. I'm like, perfect. So no tariffs on these eggs, no quotas, no. I'm just a farmer who has nice fresh eggs. If you provide a product that's good, tariff or not, cartel or not, people will buy it.
Yep.
And so removing this,
and even if it's more expensive than the rest of the stuff, because I mean, my wife's one of them too, right? She's got to have the good eggs. She can't have the the little anemic, like barely yellow yolk eggs or whatever that are $4 a dozen. Can't have those. So we have to have the good eggs, and we'll pay a premium for it. Whatever, I'll shell out for it. They taste great.
Yeah, so the fact that we're stubbornly hanging on to this cartel and sacrificing so many other industries. I mean, Carney at this point is sacrificing the auto industry to protect the dairy cartel. Like that's how it looks to me as an outsider. And I don't think that protecting the dairy cartels is worth it. And even if you take away the protection, it wouldn't destroy it. But and so this is the result of what happened this week, right? This is Trevor Tombe, who's an economist in Alberta, and he showed as a result of this stubborn protection of the dairy cartel, and as the result of getting in bed with the Chinese, and as a result of pissing off the Americans by buying planes out of the submarines from Germany instead of submarines from the Americans, like, look at all the opportunities we could have done to appease the Americans in the last little while. And they're not asking for a lot, right? Sacrifice a bit of the dairy cartel, increase your military spending, buy a couple of things from us. I always said it, man. We should have just gone to Texas and said, or to San Diego and said, we'll take 2 Arleigh Burke class destroyers. Done. right? But put that chart back up, UG. So because of Carney's stubbornness, this is the impact. So 13% of BC's economy will be affected by the new tariffs. 1% of Alberta, because we only sell oil. Saskatchewan, nothing that Saskatchewan sells is under tariffs. And then look at Ontario and Quebec. Like, he's sacrificing Ontario, Quebec, and BC to protect the dairy cartel and to get in bed with and create the new world order. By the way, Yuji, you're doing a fantastic job. Find the clip of Carney being asked, why do the Chinese like you?
Oh, I haven't seen this clip.
Yeah, I got asked that this week. Why did it, like CBC, right? Or somebody literally said, why do you think the Chinese like you? He's being asked tough questions. And what's he doing every time he gets a tough question?
From my understanding, some of the campaign was pushing positive narratives about you. Why do you think that China, the PRC, seems to like you? Why are they praising you?
I have absolutely no idea, and I have absolutely no idea, and I think it. Well, I'll leave it at that.
Liar, right? Why do you think China likes you?
Because he's allowing them to build their beachhead against the United States in Canada. Yeah. That's why they like him.
And he's letting them send. Yeah, he's letting them send electric vehicles to North America, to Canada. Not a lot. Yeah, he keeps insisting, not a lot. It's only 40 or 50,000. 40 or 50,000 is the annual output of some of those plants in Ontario.
Marty, that's nothing compared to the amount of money they're making from fentanyl with the cartels from Mexico running.
Get it? Yeah. No, I
running so much stuff, and Alex Zoltan will always he'll argue against the idea that anything's going into the United States, and he's not the only one arguing against it, but he's a good friend of ours, and he argues against that. But he'll also admit completely all of the fentanyl is going to Europe and Australasia, all of these places is crazy. So the amount of money that they're making compared to 40,000 electric cars, they don't give a shit about the electric cars.
Alex had a good question too this week. What the hell was his question? Actually, Alex is doing a good job too. But anyways, yeah, I mean, that's the kind of, so we got Carney, let's keep picking on Carney then quickly. So he had the 50% tariffs, which is the screw up. Actually, then he had the big one is the Gordie Howe Bridge. Okay, so that's the other one. Find that clip, UG, where people are asking Carney, were you lying? Did you lie to us about the Gordie Howe Bridge? And he did lie. Because it's going to be in the House of Commons. He's going to have to tell us. But just a repeat of before we go there, yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Did you mislead Canadians on the bridge deal? Did you mislead Canadians, sir?
Just gone, right? Just gone. So just a reminder, folks, basically Canada took it upon itself to build a new bridge across to the US, right down near Detroit, the Gordie Howe Bridge. We should have done better paperwork. I guess the paperwork wasn't that good, but we built this bridge. And just as we're trying to open this bridge and we're hoping to collect tolls and pay back the bridge, and we think that the Americans owe us a share of the tolls and should be paying back the bridge, we're getting screwed on this thing, man. Carney shit the bed on this one, and it turns out that the U.S. are just going to get a share of the tolls, and they're not actually paying back the bridge. I'm we're getting the U.S. is getting a win-win, and we're getting a lose-lose. Way to go, Carney. Way to go. And Carney said something otherwise, and people are wising up going, you're lying to us. And that's okay, because we're going to find out anyways. It's going to come out in the House of Commons and places like that. So he lost. He took a hit this week.
What's crazy about that bridge, though, is there's not going to be much need for the bridge if things keep going the direction that they're going. Because the main reason for that bridge is so that auto parts can transfer back and forth over the U.S.-Canada border, so that they can produce cars in both the United States and Canada in a joint venture. It looks like that venture is ending. So Donald Trump said this ages ago, said, play ball. He straight up said it. And I always take this as, if he says we don't need you for something, it means come at me with a better negotiation, and then perhaps we can keep going with the thing that we've been doing. But he said, we don't need you. We don't need Canada to be making automobiles. I'd much rather them be made in Detroit. and in Chicago and in Ohio. This is where this is where the automotive industry is. It's not Canada historically. They're all American companies, and they've all come over to Canada, and Canada joined in that effort. But it was that's a one-way street, right? That's a
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Well, we need some labor. You've got it. Instead of expanding it further out in retooling in
We
other areas, you guys can do it.
Yeah,
But
we lost all competitive advantage in manufacturing in this country, and the only way we continue to attract a little bit of manufacturing is because of huge subsidies. Nobody comes here and builds anything because it's efficient.
Mhm.
Like, it's not, right? You're right. Like, the only reason Ford had a division, the only reason Ford made F-350s in Oakville, Ontario, is because of some deal. Otherwise, if there's no deal, no concessions, no tax break, no subsidies, then Ford will say, whatever, we'll make our trucks anywhere else.
yeah, we'll
It's
make them in Pontiac. We'll make them in Cleveland. We'll make
absolutely,
them
absolutely.
in Toledo. I mean, this is the way it is. It's crazy. So yeah, if all said and done, the smoke
And by
clears.
the way, which I hate harping on this, but governments once in a while should try and kick, like, I always think that there is one industry that we should have in this country, and that's shipbuilding, and we don't build ships. Like, I'm blown
No.
away. Like, like we purposely choose to not do anything we should be good at. We should be
No, but
why,
we got
like,
lots of bed and breakfast. So Marty's like they got a lot of waffles with a lot of maple syrup out there. I mean, like it's ridiculous. Like Canada has been getting rid of its industry forever. I mean,
de-industri-
I lived in Squamish for 16 years, right before moving to Texas. What did I watch happen in Squamish? I watched a logging town that was only there because of logging. It was there before the road was there to Squamish from Vancouver. That town, historically, for over 100 years, had been logging trees and putting them in the water and shipping them places to be milled around Canada and then make things and all of that. What happened? They built a road there. A bunch of yuppies move into town, raise the property values rise, and then what's the first thing they do? That they put their house in the ground. They say, "Oh, I don't like this nasty industry that's right in town here. Get rid of it." Like,
Yep.
is it you, Johnny come lately? You come to town and you moved your house, build a house right next to an asphalt plant, and then you have the gall to say it stinks. You build your house next to a sawmill, and then you're like, it's loud. Like, why don't you
we
build a town somewhere else? Why
we
are you
do
going
this.
to people's towns? But this happens everywhere.
Happens everywhere. I mean, it happens here. People go, I don't like having a pump jack over the horizon. It's like, well, the reason yeah. No,
Unfreaking believable. But I watched them ruin that town, bring in a huge, the real estate bubble moved in to Squamish, and all the old Squamish people, they cashed out, they took their paychecks, and they left. They're gone. Old Squamish is gone, gone, gone. There's very, very few people who originally grew up there and stuff that are still there.
yeah.
And now it's this town with no history, no nothing, and no industry. And guess what? When recession comes, the only thing that's going to get you out of recession is not a bed and breakfast. It's not any of that stuff. It's industry.
Well,
And
we're
Canada has gotten rid of it all.
yeah. Squamish is a microcosm of what's going on at the macro level in this country. The whole country is going down that way. The whole country.
Do you
We
know that
used
they shut down the CN rail that goes from Squamish to 100 Mile House? They shut it. They don't do it anymore. CN rail does not go to 100 Mile House anymore. That used to be a spot where there was lumber mills,
Yep.
all kinds of things happening. Nothing is happening there anymore. Nothing.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay, where do we go from here? Actually,
We go to Doug Ford's comment. That's where
yeah,
we go.
Doug Ford's comment. That's the one I had there. So
You pull that one up. It's on my timeline. Where Doug Ford. Oh my God! Just the gall of this guy. I can't believe it. And what's happening here with this is I know they're using this intentionally to use Donald Trump as a wedge issue so they can say their stuff. But like, Oh my God, you're wearing out any goodwill that was left with the Americans on dealing with Canada. At a certain point, America is just going to say, screw it. Just shut the border.
I think they
Let them
already did.
starve.
Yeah.
Ontario, that's why we can't roll over. We have to hit back. We have to, rather than be on our back heel, as I said, we have to go forward, take the offense. We are an energy powerhouse, and we could dismantle the US if we wanted to, if we all work together. No matter if it's the electricity, and I'm not speaking for the other provinces, I'm going to be very clear. The potash, the oil, we're their #1 customer in the world. They need to feel the pain rather than us constantly feeling the pain. Ontario.
I can't believe you say shit like that. Like, it's just unbelievable. We're an energy powerhouse and we can just dismantle the United States. Get out of here. The potash, actually, he's got a point there with the potash, but I think Saskatchewan should just break off of Canada.
No, he has a
part of the
point. He has
United States.
He was confusing Ontario and Canada and Alberta and Saskatchewan. He was using the royal we. He started out his speech as saying we in Ontario need to do something, but then but everybody pointed out, what are you going to do, Doug? What do you got? You got nothing. Right. And he pointed out correctly that Alberta and Saskatchewan do have incredibly valuable resources that the Americans want, which is oil and potash. But we're not going to, he's this close to asking
also
us.
The two provinces they want the hell out. That's
exactly right. But this week, he wants us back on Team Canada. So this week he wants us back on Team Canada. But then his way back is, I'll let you back in on Team Canada if you shut off your oil and your potash to the US. And he came this close to asking that today. And we're like, no, we're not doing that, man. We're not going to. Why would we shoot ourselves in the foot and make an ending? By the way, if we shut off the oil, I posted about this today.
It's you.
It
hurts you. It hurts Alberta the most.
Well, it hurts Alberta, but it's also an act of war. I'm not going to do an act of war. I'm not going to shut off your energy supply. That's an act of war, man. Like the World War II between Japan and the US started that way. So
yes,
we're not going to shut off the oil to the US. And don't ask us again, Doug. We're not doing it. But we'll see how the rest of this week goes by. But I mean, this week is off to the first minister's meeting is in Prince Edward Island, and yeah, they're talking about bourbon. They're talking about.
Well, that's where we got to go to the next clip. We got to go to the clip of Eby. So, Yuji, right on my timeline, right next to that clip is David Eby saying his piece, and I mean, just the gall of this guy to say. About the alcohol. You say David Eby and Doug Ford are on the
I was going to go buy a bottle of bourbon today. I just never got out of the house, but I was going to go
ship you a bottle of bourbon.
No. I got one. I can get it in liquor store. I was going to take my GoPro and actually go do a video show that we can still buy a bourbon in Alberta.
Things. There is not a chance in hell that U.S. alcohol is going back on the shelf in British Columbia.
Holy crap.
And I'm proud of that. And I know the British Columbians support that. And the idea of the president that he can bully us into whatever he wishes is incorrect. We're strong. We are, despite our many debates, united as a country, and we will continue to stand strong. And we will build relationships with those countries at the national level, at the provincial level, that want to have a relationship with us. Thanks.
So here's the thing. I think the United States should, in retaliation, shut off all. I think the executive branch should use IEPA and basically ban all Canadian alcohol from entering the United States. Straight up do that and say, reverse your bans in your provinces, or this is going to stay in place. The United States executive branch under IEPA. And this was challenged in the Supreme Court where they shut down the original Trump tariffs, which he was able to get through other means. But through IEPA, they reaffirmed the right of the executive branch to single out a product and not allow it to enter the United States. I think if you want to play that game, just do it right in reverse, right back. Because 90% of Canadian alcohol sales go to the United States of America.
But sure, we could do that. But let's go back to what we talked about earlier, right? What's this all about? It's a pissing contest between Donald Trump and Mark Carney. And it starts with Donald Trump having a pretty valid excuse saying, I don't like the way you guys have treated us for the last 40 years. You've taken advantage of us, and I'm done being taken advantage of us. That was a wake-up call. That's all that was. That's a wake-up call. You and I agree. He protected the oceans, the traffic coming across. His Navy was all over the world. He protected all the vessels. He protected us in case of wars. He let American manufacturers have divisions in Canada and places like that, and we took advantage of them. And he just got fed up. So he just came in and said, "I'm going to reverse some of this," which I think is legit. Which should have been a wake-up call. And somehow or other, the Canadian media and the Liberal Party grasped onto that and spun it into Donald Trump is attacking us. Okay, perhaps. I mean, that's a stretch. He wasn't attacking us, but some people took it that way. We got to fight back. Then the fight, then it turned into a real fight, and then it got personal. And Carney, I think Carney is stubbornly using this. Well, he's being stubborn about it, but he's also got a legitimate. I think he's legit in wanting to break away from the U.S. and create a new world order that doesn't include the U.S. You know what I mean? So
that includes bankruptcy of like everybody in Canada.
Exactly. So the fucking evil person in all of this right now, the guy who's causing the most harm of all of this is Mark Carney. And the liberal media that support him. It's Carney, right? Like we're going down.
And idiot sycophants like Doug Ford and David Eby that are rolling with this. I mean, even Scott Moe, he had a speech the other day where he's like, "Are you kidding me? They're our largest trading partner."
He got a dose of reality. Scott Moe I commented on that. For Scott Moe, that was an awakening going, okay, this has gone too far, and that's reality hitting him, right? He understood that if this goes a bit farther, then it starts to hurt.
It's going to really hurt. It's already hurting Ontario. Like the automotive industry is done in Ontario. And for the last bits of it that exist, Doug Ford and Carney and Eby are destroying it. They're absolutely destroying it.
Totally.
Because, it's like this with any other thing. If you find animosity, you find that there's a problem that could cost you a lot of money. What do? You go, oops, I didn't see that coming. Let's adjust so it never happens again. The best way to make it never happen again is to just move all the industry out of Canada so that we don't have to deal with crappy Canadian relations ever again. It's over. And let me tell you, Mexico doesn't want to be in on this equation. Mexico is doing their damn best to negotiate with the United States.
Thank you for bringing that up. Actually, that was sort of something that was lost in all the radio noise this week. How come Mexico didn't get an extra 50% tariff on all its industries? Like you could see,
they're not being retarded.
Exactly. And how many countries when Donald Trump said this is a wake up call? I've been too nice to you guys, and I'm done with my generosity. What did most countries do when they heard that, right? We saw it in the beginning, right? Ireland came begging. Other countries came like, you're right. Sorry. Everybody saw it for the wake-up call that it was. I mean, the Prime Minister of Ireland was the most hilarious one, right? Like he came in here is like, hey, Donald, like, just so you know, like I bought planes from you last year. I bought cars. I'm buying your orange juice. I'm buying your bourbon. I'm buying, like, he was like, just like going on and on, like whatever you do not impose tariffs. And then the Prime Minister of Ireland even sent Conor McGregor, like, go and suck up, right? So it's all good. Only 2 countries retaliated against the U.S., China and Canada.
What do they have in common then?
Yeah, exactly.
But even Ireland has to deal with, I think, a 10% tariff. The UK has to deal with a 10% tariff. It's just,
they took that on the chin. They took that. They went, yeah, we deserve it. That's fine. They took it on the chin. They're like, we're happy with it. 10, as long as it's only 10, we're good with it.
Yeah, and countries like Vietnam, they were happy with 19%. Countries like Indonesia, another 20%. They were happy with that. They're like, we still get to sell our items in America.
Yeah. It's like you're stealing internet from your neighbor for 20 years, and finally your neighbor catches on that you've been stealing your internet, and the neighbor says, "I'm going to charge you $2 for the internet going forward." You go, "Yeah, that's fine. I'll take $2." So yeah, the 10% tariffs for a lot of those countries. That's all it was.
And what's the alternative? Buy your own internet.
Buy your
Right?
own internet for $15, man. So when your neighbor finally says I'm that free internet, I'm going to charge you $2. And those are real stories, right? We've seen all of that. By the way, you were joking about your internet. Are you in a modern house where are you going to have to get a super duper router to be able to get back to full high speed, or do you have Cat 5 or Cat 6?
What is it? I forget the name of the device. It's so my modem is way over there because the fiber comes into the house over there. So we have the modem over there, and I didn't want to run a Cat 6 cable all the way into this room because you just see it every day.
Yeah.
Apparently you have what was it called? It's called a line.
Like a booster of some sort, or
Yeah, it's some sort of unit because I don't have Ether, so I only have Ethernet on my computer. I don't have a Wi-Fi
card
anything
or
on.
okay.
Nothing on my computer. So I just go right direct with the Cat 6 usually.
Because you're going to be like me
line
then.
adapter.
Yeah, you're going to be like me. I have fiber optic coming into the house, but once it's in the house, my bottleneck is my damn router.
Yeah.
And so I got to figure out how to get from the router or from directly to my devices with that 1000 speed. But anyways, you'll get there. So
so apparently you can get this line device. Basically what it does is it hooks up to your router, and then it hooks in through the power lines in your house, and then somehow sends the signal through the power lines in your house to this device that's plugged in on the other side, and then has a Cat 6 going to the computer. So we'll see what the speeds are like when I get that. They should be pretty good, but if I need it better, then I'll end up figuring out a way to run it up through the attic and down into here. I mean, it is what it is.
Cool. We're almost done the hour. I mean, I only had 2 other stories on here. I had 3 stories that we didn't talk about. 4 stories we didn't talk about. We never talk about the Good Life gym, and I guess we can talk about that in the next hour.
We'll get that in the next hour for sure.
We didn't talk about inflation. I guess that we can talk about that real quick before we go, or we can talk about it in the next hour, and then I'll bring up the fascist pancakes, because you mentioned pancakes, and I thought you were going to go where we were, because we had a fascist pancake incident in Alberta this week, which is quite funny. Maybe we'll save that.
Tell that story now. We'll get into the good life or the good night fitness, and then
So UG, find there's a clip of Danielle Smith. Stampede is over, so now she was in Edmonton at Klondike Days. So Edmonton's cheap version of the Stampede is Klondike Days, and she was doing the pancake flipping at Klondike Days. And an aggressive lady came up to her and said, how do you like my T-shirt? And started an uncomfortable discussion with Danielle. And Danielle handles herself brilliantly. There you go. Play this clip a bit.
You just went on a separatist podcast. Why are you platforming Berta Proud Dad? I don't care if I use Facebook. Yeah. You platform Berta Proud Dad as separatist. You're a separatist. You're a fucking separatist. You don't care about us. You only care about selling us out for money. Fuck your fascist pancakes!
So it started out like Danielle. The clip's longer. Danielle's doing a great job, right? Like the girl's like, "How you're selling us out, this and that." Danielle's just answering, saying like, "Those are pretty broad statements." You went on a separatist podcast. Well, if I go on the CBC, I'm going on a communist podcast, kind of thing. I mean, she literally joked about that. And then finally she had enough. So security stepped in, and we see it from different angles. But while she's being hauled away, that's what she yells at: fuck your fascist pancakes. And then,
communist is the only flavor she likes in her pancakes.
Yeah, which then becomes funny because now you have both sides trying to use that as a meme. Okay, so the right had some pretty awesome memes about that. The left's memes suck. Like if you're on the left, so the NDP in Alberta, like one of the only, actually not one of the only federal NDP member in Alberta is Lori McPherson or whatever, and she already had a coffee mug and she's playing and that says "fuck your communist" or "your fascist pancakes," and she's having breakfast with the music playing in the background, and people are like, "Lady, you're about as freaking close to you're a fascist. You are literally promoting the fascist ideals." But hey, Like they really don't. And she, and for me to make jokes
She's got
about
crazy
fashion.
eyes. She got those
Oh,
crazy
she's got
eyes.
totally crazy eyes. I mean, I can make jokes about it, but for another politician at a senior level, for a federal politician to basically agree and call Danielle Smith a fascist.
She's a federal politician? Crazy
She's
eyes
a federal
there?
politician. She's a federal MP.
Oh,
She's a
boy.
federal NDP MP.
Oh, whoa. Crazy.
Yeah. So, you know, Heather, like, come on, like, you know,
Something
really,
demonic going on there.
you're going to
man.
call
Like,
Danielle
holy
Smith a
crap.
fascist, like Danielle Smith, who's a libertarian. If Danielle Smith is supporting, let's go with that. Let's say that Danielle Smith is a separatist. Do you think that, like, is a separate, as our separatists are about as far from fascism as I can possibly imagine?
But don't
Like-
fascists, isn't the fascist like tying everything up into a bundle because that makes it
The state,
unbreakable?
it's an indistinguishable between the state and the people and society. It's all one big fascia. Yeah, it's Mussolini. Mussolini was a fascist, and
Yes.
and Hitler tolerated him. Didn't quite believe in. I mean, Hitler's version is not fascism. Hitler had a different economic theory, but Mussolini
Which was
a fascist.
socialist.
Yes. And anyways, it's it was just funny this week. The fuck your fascist pancakes. Sorry to repeat this, but oh my god.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into the other half, Marty, where can people find you?
Marty Up North on X and Marty Up North on YouTube. You bet. Easy to
And
find.
you've been doing another podcast these days.
Not another podcast. No,
Western Standard thing, or what were you doing?
I guest host on Western Standard once a week. They just they offered me a platform, and I get to do similar to this. They gave me an hour to rant. So
Awesome.
I rant. Yeah.
Where can people find that?
Some days I rant and for an hour, and it feels like I've only been talking for 15 minutes because there's so much to talk about. It's purely Alberta. I don't go national or anything like that. I just, you know, it's basically they give me a separatist voice. Derek Fildebrand, the publisher owner, is a big separatist, and so he's letting me have a platform there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some of the other stuff. Oh yeah, there you go. There it is on the screen. Perfect. Get on over there and subscribe so you can watch these. All right, let's get into some of these comments. I think there's a bunch.
Wow,
so
we got
far.
a lot
I saw-
already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Eugene, welcome back.
Hello.
For everybody who's just catching, and they're like, who's this guy who just jumped in? This is Eugene, great friend of ours, business partner, and very, very helpful guy when I don't have my computer working. So thank you so much, Eugene, for making this possible.
No problem. So Waniska for $5 says Trump isn't tariffing Alberta and Saskatchewan.
No, he's not. Because they don't deserve it. And you know what? They should break off and become part of the United States.
Yeah, well,
or be
yeah,
independent. Be
there's
independent
that.
and have their own relationship with the United States.
The other thing is
we don't have to deal with that.
Tariffing something that you really need and you can't replace, that's really not fair to your own industries, right? I mean, he needs our oil. Like people have said, oh, if he tariffs our oil, they'll source our oil somewhere else. No, that doesn't happen overnight. So that's why.
Well, you could say the same thing about the automotive industry, but at the same time, it's a strategy to get the automotive manufacturing back into the United States and out from Canada. Same with Mexico, moving it back in from Mexico.
But this recent round of tariffs was pretty deep, right? Like it was hitting things like things that are not in. Actually, on this deep round, he's hitting things that are in Kuzma. And so he's opening himself up for a challenge, and I think he wants a challenge. I mean, I think he does want a Kuzma challenge. So, yeah.
Oh, I was thinking that maybe even Mexico might pull out of it because it only takes one party to end the entire agreement. But if Scheinbaum, for example, were to sign the thing 6 months notice to exit, then they wouldn't be able to blame Trump. They can't say like beige woman bad. It's orange man bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, Mexico could also cancel the deal and kill the three-way deal and then re-enter into a two-way deal with the Mexico USA and leave Canada out of it altogether. I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. So
I think that would be favorable, and then they wouldn't have the Orange Man bad fuel. You know what I mean? They wouldn't. Carney and Doug Ford, they wouldn't be able to use that to their advantage.
Hey, by the way, what was the joke? Did we get an answer from anybody? Like, what's the Doug Ford pregnant, or what's the story? What's the joke about that? Pregnant Doug or pregnant? Maybe somebody can give a comment on that. But
I didn't know that. I didn't know what that was about.
yeah, there was a that was trending for a while. Pregnant Doug, or is Doug pregnant Trudeau or something like that? There's a convolution of the two, and there's something funny going there. Unless Trudeau is going to be a dad, and I missed that one. I don't know. God, Lord help us. Lord help us.
I'm looking. So it was just, yeah, I don't know if anyone's, no one's given us an answer to that one just yet.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Okay, Alberta Peasant, 1,000 gems, goat trophy.
What does that mean? 1,000 gems? Never seen that before.
Gifted 1,000 gems.
Gems?
Huh.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, Alberta Peasant, member for 52 months.
Yeah, thank you so much for the gems. I can figure out what to do with gems. Maybe they're doing a thing like Twitch has done in the past. But thank you so much for being a member for 52 months. That's amazing. Thank you.
It says Marty just checked my X feed and your post not there.
That's possible. Again, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do some. I'll do some experiments in the coming weeks. I'm more aware of it. I'm definitely aware that there is some funny business going on with that. I think is related to Bill C9 and C22. Like you said, like we showed that we didn't talk in depth about that, but the Center for Canadian Justice or whatever brought that up. Like people are, and others have reported that people are getting phone calls about posts online. Mm-hmm. Kind of like they were in, oh God, we never even talked about that either. I was going to say they're getting knocked on doors like they are in the UK. UK got a new prime minister this week.
Oh, who is it? I didn't even hear.
I've
been so busy with all my stuff.
Keir Starmer resigned, and so the Queen or the King just asked some other guy to form government, and this other guy is I don't even remember his name, but I looked him up, and this other guy is a Labor representative, and he's pretty he's pretty much in favor of nationalizing a lot more things. He would reverse the privatization. So the UK is going to flip flop and go back to, if he stays in power for more than a year, like nobody. How many prime ministers have the UK gotten in the last 10 years? Like, are we like going on 6 or 7? I mean, there was like Boris, and there was
crazy.
Yeah, but this guy seems to be a bit of a flake.
They need reform, or that new party in Britain that I can't forget even the name of it. It's I don't know if you've heard about it. It's like a brand new national party where they want to. It's basically like MAGA for England. Mega.
MAGA. No, make
Mega. Make England great again.
Make England great. Oh, that's nice. Actually, Mega, that works good.
Mega.
All right, we got Be Big 420 for $10. Canada imported 21.5 billion of oil in 2022, over 488 billion since 98. We need to be energy secure. That's an AI data center of profit every year, or the equivalent of Alberta's transfer payments.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we're technically energy secure. We just choose to import. I mean, that oil is mostly Ontario and Quebec importing from Saudi and places like that. And yeah, it's frustrating because it's basically the post says, the money we send him in equalization payment, Quebec uses it to buy oil from Saudi Arabia. Where are you off to, Clyde?
I was off to grab another drink.
Oh.
All right, Myrones, he's back for $20. Says a place like Kelowna was forced to all the anomalies could just be tree wells from land clearing. What does that mean?
A place like Kelowna is forested. All the anomalies could just be tree wells from land clearing.
Is that like forest fires?
No, he's talking about the topography. Is there something unusual in the geography around Kelowna? Like, are there holes everywhere where trees used to be? I don't know. I've never been to. I mean, I've been to Kelowna, but I've never walked through the woods to see if there's anything.
I'm not sure what the anomalies he's talking about are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the way forest fires start.
All of BC would have been under huge tree canopies like 500 years ago. I mean, you guys don't have natural. You have a couple of places like the Okanagan Valley and on the coast, like where you live, UG. There's some plains, but your interior is not. There's no plains in your interior. It would have been just maybe around Osoyoos. You have a few river valleys, but
well, apparently the way the geography looked back in the day was like before, because if they have photographs of the area before all the settling, and they specifically talk about, or I've seen people specifically talking about, it wasn't until the strategy of fire suppression did the forests become so covering, because there used to be fires that would roll through the area.
Yeah.
But because there would be sparse areas between from previous fires and things like that, the fires would be relatively contained to certain areas. That area would burn up. It would cause some nutrients to go into the soil next to it. Then that would grow, and then it would be like there'd be like this cycle that would happen through the area.
I should document this more. I don't, but when you guys know me, right? I spend a lot of time walking through the wilderness, through the forest, hiking. And on every hike, almost every day, I come across trees in the middle of nowhere that are burnt. And there's an easy explanation. They got hit by lightning, and a big burst of lightning hitting one tree will start a fire, and the fire will usually climb up and bit the tree but never jump. So when a forest is healthy and the trees are well spaced and there's moisture on the ground and a good canopy, an individual tree getting hit will burn, but it doesn't spread. Like it takes a lot of effort to make a fire spread, is what I'm saying. And and that's where the mismanagement comes in. But I mean, another thing I tell people, like, starting a fire, like, you know how the idea that if you smoke and you just throw a cigarette butt, it's going to start a fire. Man, I've started probably 500 fires in camps, like in pits in my life, and 50% of them are hard. It's hard to actually start a fire. Like I always, every time I think about that, I go like, God, I wish it was as easy as throwing a cigarette butt. If that was the case, there'd be fires everywhere. But luckily, fires are hard to start. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got Chris. I don't know how to pronounce that. For $5, says, guys, Trump just won against Carney. Canadian businesses will flee to America, all to satisfy the elbows up agenda. Canadians are Carney's victims.
Well, that was a report. That was an actual report. I think it was Ernst & Young or one of those big consulting firms did a big survey last month, or published a survey, and something like 40% of businesses in Canada are considering moving to the US.
Nearly half.
Yeah, it's a huge number. Huge.
It was specifically manufacturing.
Right.
So people who make stuff, like the real drivers of economy.
Yeah.
In most classical sense of what drives an economy is industry. Like
KPMG.
Stuff.
Yeah.
42% of Canadian manufacturers.
Unbelievable. I think it was 70% of those had plans to leave within the next 2 years.
Like think of a friend of the channel, right? Edison Motors out of BC. Like how welcomed would they be in the US if Edison, like if
they've already been offered to move, and they
don't want to move. They're trying to stay in Canada, but they'll constantly tell you how hard it is. You know, it's the most unwelcoming place in the world. Like, you know, he goes up to Terrace and he's like, "Hey, you have this abandoned warehouse. Can I use it?" And he couldn't even use it, right? I mean, he'll what's his name again?
Chase Barber.
Chase. Anyways, you bring him back on the show and have him give an update on how things are going.
Yeah, because they actually tried to move to the United States, or they didn't try to move to the United States. They were approached And then any smart business person would inquire, obviously, and they asked about it. They said, yeah, you'll have to fire all your staff and hire all Americans, but you can move the company. He's like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Be Big 420 for $2 says East Coast tanker ban now, down with foreign oil.
Yeah, we had the same comment last week. Somebody gave that comment last week. I mean, yeah, fair is fair. Either lift them on both sides or impose them on both sides.
Yeah. Get no Saudi oil coming into the East Coast.
The Irving refinery in St. John's, New Brunswick could be screwed. That's a whole that's a powerful entity, man. The Irvings, oof. Yeah, that's why there's no tanker ban on the East Coast. It's just because of that, the Irving family, nothing else.
Yeah.
All right, my Rones for $20. Like I said back in the day on the Peanuts gang, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The proof of the pudding is in the crust.
I never heard that before. The Peanuts gang, is that?
Well, that's Peanuts
Charlie Brown?
like Charlie Brown. Yeah.
I've never heard that part.
Charlie Brown, Peanuts is technically the longest continuous story in human history.
Really?
So Charles Schulz, who wrote the strip, wrote it every day for something like 35 years of his life, and it's basically one long story. That's how it's portrayed. It holds that record as the longest story ever told.
Cool.
In writing. Yeah. A 35-year long story. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Well, fancy guy here for $5. Says Vancouver guy here, freaking hot today, 30 degrees, cooler in Point Roberts. Let's do the trade. Quebec for Point Roberts, a win-win.
Too good.
We know who this is. That's not Drew or somebody like that. Who is that?
No, it's not Drew. It's not Drew. But 30 degrees? It was 38 today.
What? Holy shit.
Yeah, we hit 35 over here.
Yeah. Heat's great. Love it.
Yeah, crazy by proxy. 400 gems, an eagle.
Eagle.
What are these gems?
I have no idea.
No, I don't know what the gems are. That's totally new. But thank you for the gems. I'm sure it means something.
Oh, Derp McFerguson for $5. Booze is a boomer concern. Younger gents don't drink.
True.
Yeah, a lot of younger people they just don't take up drinking.
No, they're more into gummies and vaping and all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. Fair enough.
We got Light Y7Z for $5. Did you see yesterday Doug Ford heaping praise on Tim Waltz? Maybe they're separated at birth. David Eby, if Jagmeet and Trudeau Jr. had a baby.
Oh my god!
Is that where the pregnant Doug thing's coming from?
I still don't know where that's coming from, but it was definitely on my timeline for I'm just going to see if somebody said something, but yeah.
Oh, we got to talk about the Good Knife Fitness because we didn't even talk about that. That made it huge. Even our
see, now Jack, you're already calling it the Good Knife, right? Like, look at them. Like they're that's a bad PR thing, right? Like, are they gonna? Yeah.
Well, tell the story. What happened? What went down?
A member of the Sikh community walked into a Good Life. He's been a member of the Good Life gym somewhere in Ontario. I'm guessing Brampton or some part of the world like that. And then he was recording himself while somebody came up to him and said, "There's been a complaint against you." The guy's shirtless and he's got his belt with his kirpan, whatever, his ceremonial knife, and the lady in the store or in the gym is asking him, whatever, cover yourself and you can't, we got a complaint. That's him. He's an influencer on, I don't know, X or TikTok or whatever, but that's him at the gym. And that's completely inappropriate. Most gyms I've ever been to as a man, you're supposed to wear a shirt regardless. and not act like a complete goof. And then he's claiming that that he was profiled and his human rights were being denied, and a bunch of people piled up on him. There was a rumor for a while that the gym employee got fired, but that's not true. The gym employee did not get fired. This is and this is backfiring on him. So the criticisms, like Jack is an example. Lots of people have said, like, listen, buddy, like, we are accommodating. You're allowed to. We're totally accommodating. You can bring in your 4 centimeter or 6 centimeter kirpan. Keep it in your pants. Wear your shirt. Don't make it visible. Work out. Have fun. Don't worry about it. But when you show up shirtless with a freaking knife this long, that's no longer. We don't need to accommodate that. That's not what the Supreme Court said.
So let's first off stop calling it a ceremonial kirpan, because you're not doing ceremonies all day every day. If it's a ceremonial thing, you only have it for ceremonies.
Yeah.
You're saying that it's a religious thing that you should have at all given times for whatever reason. Tim Pool pointing out perfectly there that my gun, my pistol, my gun is for religious reasons,
Yep.
Sure. Maybe all Americans should believe that. This is a flavor of the Christian religion to have.
Yeah, if you're a samurai,
handgun
like for
on
a
you.
samurai, for in Japanese, some Japanese religion, would a sword be part of the ceremonial thing? Absolutely, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, Bushido, yeah, it would be, but even in Japan, they don't honor that. They banned
Yeah.
samurai from carrying them at one point. That was it.
No, this brought up a whole interesting debate because some girl said, rightfully so, like, I can't have a bear spray at the gym, but you can have this. And then the Supreme Court said, yeah, well, the argument that the kirpan is a knife or could be used for whatever, to harm somebody. Everything in the gym could be used to harm somebody. Sure, the dumbbells could be used to harm somebody. So then the reverse argument of
But
that
you're going
is
against
that
the whole argument that a gun should be illegal.
exactly. So it's brought up an interesting debate this week, and it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Dumbbells
but right now,
don't kill people.
Dumbbells don't kill people. The Supreme Court says that just because you're carrying a knife doesn't mean you're intending to use it for violence. And then everybody went, well, then that's the same thing for a gun.
Holy crap. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm loving this conversation.
So I love these guys that try to make a point and then it just completely backfires. And then now the good life is being mocked. The poster's good knife and whatever else. So
one thing I hate, and I'll always fight against this, is exemptions from laws. Laws are laws. If your group doesn't fit with the laws, well, fit with the country that you're in. And if you want the laws to change, well, lobby to have them change. Because I'd love to be able to carry a big old knife on me in Canada, but I can't because laws, right? I don't want other people to have an exception. There should never be an exception to a rule. If you need to make an exception, it means the rule's bad. Get rid of that law. Period. End it.
Which a lot of people brought up. We can change the law, absolutely. So, anyways, yeah, that was the story. I mean, it's that guy's a goof.
He's a total goof.
Yeah, everybody was showing all the videos of him working out. Like, buddy, you're not there to work out. We can all tell you're not there. When you went there to make a statement, and your statement backfired. So I'm glad it's another example where people are waking up. Like, there's accommodating, and then there's accommodating.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to work out at some gym and then some dude comes in, he's just making a scene, grunting, making all these noises, jumping around. I wouldn't want that.
No.
Like, not happy with that.
All right, Chris, for another $5 says Mark Carney's fight with America cost you 50% tariffs, the Gordie Howe Bridge revenue, and Canadian jobs as businesses flee. America appreciates the new jobs.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mark Carney. You're helping to feed American families.
And apparently his popularity is climbing. Like, it's
the only thing that I can say is, like, Canada is basically North Korea anymore, where the propaganda is so insane that the people actually buy it. They actually buy it.
Yeah.
I can't believe it that they actually see things that way.
My Rones for $20 says Conor McGregor is apparently a hockey player in Edmonton.
That was a joke. That was a faux pas. I can't remember who said it. Somebody in the House of Commons about a month ago. Actually, you were gone, Clyde. Somebody in the House of Commons was trying to make a point and saying that
It was somebody
not taking advice. You should take advice. That Poiliev should take advice from Carney because Carney knows what he's talking about, and he's like, that'd be like not taking hockey advice from Conor McGregor, and then everybody's like, what? The guy was trying to make an example of hockey. The person he was referring to is Connor McDavid. So this MP is like, it was egg on his face. It's like, yeah, I don't take hockey advice from Conor McGregor, but okay, sure.
Thanks. Nice try. Did you see Conor McGregor's fight? He had a knee injury right after the first strike.
The memes of poor Connor, the Connor in 2016 and Connor in 2026, like Connor getting out of a car in 2016, he's flipping, he's doing this, and then getting out of a car in 2016 or 2026, he's like, they made fun of him. He shouldn't have been in the rink. Like it's, he wasn't prepared. He shouldn't have been in the rink.
Yeah. And it was just a big showboaty thing to throw a big kick at the beginning, and then
$100 million.
Just stepped weird, and then whoop, there goes his knee. Done.
The rumors I hear is like PEDs. Some of the PEDs make your tendons weak. So maybe he was using that to recover, took 5 years off, came back, and then got off gear. His tendons are weak, and he threw that kick, and everything just snapped.
What are PEDs?
Performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah. Oh, PEDs. Okay, yeah. Right.
Because he was throwing those kicks in the locker room before the fight, and then as soon as the fight started, it gave out.
I saw a video of a guy blowing a tendon in a race, and you could hear it snap. Like it's,
a buddy of mine in Whistler, Japanese fella, his name is Kensuke. He snapped his Achilles. We ended up nicknaming him Achilles Kensuke.
That's not funny. That would hurt.
No, it's so bad because like they had to cut into his leg and pull the tendon because his calf was behind his knee.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, you should see some of the strongmen, like their tendons explode because they have like 200 kilos on it.
It's just gross. Yeah.
Nasty.
When the blood comes out their nose and their ears because they're pulling so hard, that's wild.
Yeah. So we got Mila Nexus. Clyde, are you living in the US now?
Absolutely. The great state of Texas, the Lone Star State. It's really nice here. It's hot. It's very hot. Everybody warned me about the Texas heat, and I love it. It's amazing.
Man, you're far away too. When you look on a map, like compared to where you used to be, you are far away. You're almost at the Pacific. Or the Gulf. You're almost at the Gulf.
Yeah, we're almost at the Gulf of America. That's right.
Yeah.
And traveled, what was it? It was 4,000 kilometers, which sounds impressive until you do it in miles. And it's
I think you're farther miles. You're farther from me than I am from Ottawa, I think. Like the map doesn't do justice because of the projections or whatever, but I think if you draw a semicircle, you're farther as the crow flies from me than you are from
you are from Ottawa.
Yeah, you're far. Close to San Antonio. You'll have to go visit San Antonio, man. Beautiful city. Beautiful.
Yeah,
city.
I'm looking forward to it. We're still settling in, so we haven't been able to get out and travel and check things out. But I want to go take the kids to the Alamo. Tell them about history.
And the Riverwalk. San Antonio cleaned itself up about 20 years ago, and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, and I got a new flag for the wall for the studio. Just got to show everybody this because, you all know I had the flags on the wall. Beautiful American flag, a new one. It's it's a cotton flag this time. They need a nice iron, but yeah, I've got the good old state of Texas flag. Get used to seeing that. Should I? That's the big question. Should I retire the 51 flag?
Hang on to it.
Hang on to it. Pull it out.
Sell it at a silent auction and raise money.
Yeah, I could do that. Could do that. Maybe pay for the move.
Yeah, Winiska saying Chick-fil-A again, Clyde.
Yeah, I kept the thing. I'm so I've just been
It's
watching
the
it.
word.
It's just great. It's just great because it doesn't sweat, you know?
Yeah, Studio 77 for $6.99 says Canada's manufacturing base is starting to move up or move to the United States. The Liberals have lost and they're terrified about what's about to happen.
Yeah. It's crazy, but it's their fault. Like the Liberal government, Conservatives in Ontario with Doug Ford, ED in British Columbia, it's their fault.
Yep.
All the bad stuff is happening, and it's accelerating because of how bad they are at what they do. They did exactly the opposite of what they should have done in this situation.
Yeah, I think Table Salt here is saying Trump blames new tariffs on Canada's leadership, not its people.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one where he's saying Canada needs us to survive.
Look at this. I love Canada. I love the people. He says this all the time.
Than our people. You know, Canada's been very, very tough on us over the years, for many years, and no other president's done anything about it. I love Canada. I love the people of Canada. Many friends live in Canada, but their leadership from Trudeau to the current leadership, I mean, in all fairness to them, they need us to survive. Without us, there's no way they can survive. So, but they've been very, very tough over a period of the last 50 years, actually. Treated.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's not wrong. We could survive, but we definitely wouldn't have the lifestyle we have. You know, we'd be okay. I don't want to just survive. Yeah, I don't want to piss him off. I mean, what's his name? Scott Moe's comments this week were appropriate, and it was a dose of reality. Like, he's basically saying, like, it sucks to kind of have to think of it. Don't think of it as giving into a bully. He's not a bully. It's just an economy 13 times bigger than ours. I mean, they can flex, and we have to roll with the punches. I mean, he's the elephant in bed. Like, when he rolls, you don't necessarily push back. You get a little bit out of the way, but you tolerate it because that's what it is. I mean, play Scott's comments. Yeah.
So you don't want to fight. Almost, yeah.
I want a trade agreement with the United States of America. They're our largest trading partner, have been for all of our life, yours and I's, and likely will be into the future. At the end of the day, why would you want to fight with your largest trading partner, regardless of what they're saying? We need this trade agreement.
Yeah, like, approaching it as a bully or as a win-lose is wrong. Like, he's not a bully. He's a bigger trading partner. He's a big, huge, like, you know, it's just reality.
Who are the bullies in this? The ones that are like, I'm going to take it away from you if you don't do the thing. Those are the bullies. They're cry bullies.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not going to let you
cry bully.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I never thought of it as a bully. I mean, I've been one of the people who from day one when Trump said it, I saw it as a wake up call, and I said we shouldn't retaliate with tariffs. We should just take it as a wake up call and use it as an opportunity to smarten up a little bit and get a little more efficient, and don't worry about it, and then move on. That's it. It would have been a brilliant opportunity to smarten up.
This is what turned me off of Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives, because his campaign, he went from the smart guy in the room, the guy who seems to get it, to the guy who said, well, elbows up, Mark Carney, I'll be even more hard on Donald Trump, and I'll put even more retaliatory and reactive tariffs, and I'll respond even more emotionally than Mark Carney is willing to do. Like, that was the worst campaign ever.
So Kim Smith, 10 gems, gold coin.
10 gems, gold coin.
No. So there's something going on, right? So somebody earlier said something like everybody that's offered gems had a one-liner.
Like eagle and
goat trophy. So 1,000 gems got a goat trophy. 400 gems got an eagle. And what was this one? 10 gems got a gold coin. Okay, you'll have to dive into it. I don't like you're more of an expert on YouTube than I am, but there's a new YouTube.
It's new. Yeah. This must be like Twitch, where on Twitch you can buy bits, and then you can tip with the bits, and then the creator gets that as a thing. I don't know. I'll have to look
Pokemon
into it.
points kind of thing or something. I don't know.
Pokemon,
Yeah. Is Pokemon Japanese or Korean?
Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Pocket monsters.
Yeah,
Is that what it means?
It's literally short for pocket monster.
Okay.
Yeah. Pokemon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the YouTube Live Gems, it's a new live stream feature. So
Okay.
one ruby is 1 cent US.
So rubies, are they all rubies or?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. It seems like it's a mobile thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll roll with the punches. Cool. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, Myron's due date for $20.
Okay. Now the story makes sense. Okay.
Oh, the anomalies are
Very
the
localized
graves.
anomalies. They weren't talking about the landscape. They were talking about the okay.
Mm-hmm.
So go back to the earlier comment first, and then we'll go back to this one. So the comment on Myron's first comment on anomalies was roll up a wee bit.
Oh, it's quite a wee bit. Where is it?
I'm not seeing any of this, by the way, because I'm on mobile. I can't.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through all the comments. I can't find it though.
A place like Kelowna was forested. All the anomalies could just be tree wells from land clearing. Okay, so no, sure. That's the is Kelowna the big school? That's the one that's always on the news right now. Is the residential school in Kelowna?
Those Kamloops.
Oh, Kamloops, right? Okay, so Kamloops anomalies are attributed to a septic field.
Yes.
Kelowna, I'm not familiar with, but that's a possibility. They could be, yeah. If there's anomalies in Kamloops, or in Kelowna, they could be from something different. Okay, makes sense. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Studio 77_8 699 says USA should just implement tariffs weekly to break the carny completely on specific goods through executive order. Then back and watch.
Then lean back and watch. Yeah.
Yeah. Get your
How can you
popcorn.
read that? Wow.
So Clyde, you're not on a big screen. You're only got your phone. You're not seeing all the chats or everything right now.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got the stream open here, so I can see the chats there.
Yeah.
But it's just rolling in live, right?
Mm-hmm. Studio 77 again 699. Witnesses say they saw bodies thrown into graves. How come no one has put forward one name of the perpetrators? Not one.
Yeah, actually, a person who's really good on this topic. I was on the space one time with Jim McMurtry and oh my God, who's the lady from the CO2 coalition? I'll have to come back, but she talked about this. Well, how they were interviewing kids and kids who had certain memories. Like kids would have said, for instance, she was saying, people in the schools in those days had tuberculosis. Very common. People had tuberculosis. And if you have tuberculosis in 1870 and you're coughing in your bed, you're going to be coughing up blood. Okay. So there's going to be blood all over your bed. A bad case of tuberculosis would do that. So you're a 5-year-old kid sleeping in a dorm and you're seeing 3 beds down from you, somebody who like bloody sheets. And maybe you're thinking, oh, somebody got murdered. But the perfectly valid explanation is some kid there had tuberculosis and was coughing. Okay. And then Francis, no, not Francis. Anyways. And then she's like, so then what happens with the bloody sheets? You're at the residential school and there's really bloody sheets and they know a little bit something about tuberculosis. They're not going to wash those sheets. They burn them. So they go downstairs in the basement. There's an incinerator for garbage and everything else. And garbage is being thrown in the incinerator. And what's going in the incinerator at one point, and you're a kid and you're seeing the incinerator and you're seeing bloody rags going into the incinerator. Plus you saw what happened upstairs. So now in your mind, you're thinking, oh my God, little Cindy got killed and died in her bed and was incinerated. Well, no, Cindy might have died from tuberculosis and was buried or done whatever. But you know what I mean? She's explaining it that way. Like, kids are seeing things in 1850 and can't make explanations for it. And she provided all these valid explanations for what was happening, which are also in the record, right? I can't remember. Somebody's been doing that lately, doing all these, going through the archives and finding records, man. And the records are clear. Like, there are schools that go, yeah, we had 12 deaths last winter, right? I mean, kids are dying. It was tuberculosis. It was all like, it was a nasty place. And those kids would have died at home or in the residential school. Like, living in British Columbia in 1850 was not easy. Like,
yeah, and like getting the body home would have meant
not happening.
Yeah, it's just not happening.
They
would have been buried right on the spot.
Not happening. Absolutely. I mean, throughout the West, if you died in the winter, you were stored in a cold farm, in a cold barn somewhere. And then in the spring, when the ground thawed, then they buried the bodies. They were not going to go and dig the permafrost or the ice to bury a body in the middle of winter. Like, that just like, and people have no idea how, like, even the concept of like, well, the graves are gone. They're not gone, but the markers are gone. But I mean, if like
there's a wooden marker,
there's a wooden marker. Absolutely. Even if you put a stone marker, it could be gone. I mean, like here in the West, what was the number one thing we made stone markers out of? It was shitty old sandstone. Okay, so you could go to the riverbanks and you could find a nice piece of sandstone, and maybe I'll show you pictures. I have sandstone markers that I've seen. You find a sandstone marker, you carve out, here lies little Cindy Lou or whatever. 30 years later, what does that sandstone marker look like, man?
Smooth, right?
It's smooth. It's not granite. There's no granite out here, folks. Like, you're associating modern practices with the way practices were in 1850, and they just weren't that way. So
no.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, even out here, so when we were driving here, we were driving through, I really noticed this around New Mexico. So as we're driving through some ranches, you can tell, like, ranches that have been inactive for a very long time, you'll see the fence posts and they'll just be like weathered and falling apart and stuff. And anybody who's a farmer or rancher or anything like that, they know you got to go out and you got to fix fence posts. That's like a huge part of your job. Getting out there, fixing fence posts, retying the wire, fix a fence post, retie the wire. How often are you doing this? Well, how long does a fence post last? Not particularly long.
I'm on my property's 20 years old, and actually, coincidentally, I'm thinking about I need to redo my fence, and I'm not just going to patch it anymore. I mean, you can only patch it so many times, and at some point, my fence posts are rotten. They're rotten. Yeah, it's a wooden post. Even if it's pressure treated, it's a wooden post in the ground, man. It takes a beating. Yeah, 20 years later, my fence is falling all over the place. Now you've given me 2 videos for tomorrow. I'll show you what a weathered marker looks like made out of sandstone, and then I'll show you what a beat-up fence post looks like. Yeah, if you don't do maintenance on a property, I live in my property, and it's starting to wear down. If you abandon the property, God, it disappears within a generation. There's nothing left. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Peter from Edmonton, 400 gems. Eagle.
Okay, I'm going to talk to Peter afterward, and I'm going to get the scoop on these gems. For sure.
Fancy Guy for $5 says Carney has ordered all Army unit command teams across the country must be bilingual. Goodbye any Western Anglos. The French win.
That's already the case. Carney has ordered all Army unit command teams across the country must be bilingual. Goodbye. No, that's already the case.
What? You have to be what? To go to combat, you have to be bilingual?
No. To be an officer in the Canadian Army, you have to be bilingual.
Oh, so as an officer, that's stupid.
Yeah. That's been the law forever and ever. And there's a stretch on what it means to be bilingual. Like, you got to take your course and pass a competency. But it's a shitty rule that favors Quebecers who are naturally more likely to be bilingual because they're French born and learn English so
they get to be officers and everybody else has to be subordinate to them.
Sure, but the law that this gentleman or lady or whoever's talking about is Carney this week went by farther. He said that Mark Miller, the Minister of Culture or whatever, proposed that federally regulated industries should also require bilingualism. So federal, like if you want to be a Supreme Court judge, if you want to be a member of the Canadian military or a member of the RCMP in a senior role, you need to be bilingual. That's the law right now. But they want to go farther and say that it should be the law in federally regulated industries like transportation and banking and telecommunications. So can you imagine suddenly
So
telling...
you only get to be in the boss positions. Screw that. It's going to send it right downhill, man. That's terrible.
Yeah, and I'm francophone, okay? I'm a francophone, and I admit, and I'm like, bullshit. So they're saying that this is to protect our culture. No. First of all, I don't need the government to step in and protect my culture. I'll do it myself. I still speak French because I wanted to protect my culture. But if the government really wanted to protect our cultures, then they would close the immigration door right now and not let in 1 million people every year. So, like, they're talking out of both sides. They're bullshit. They're not intent on protecting our culture. It's just an excuse.
Incidentally, we were driving through Round Rock today, and we saw a Tim Hortons. And I was... Yeah, and I was tempted to go in. I was saying to the wife, I'm like, should we go in? Like, I can cross the couple lanes. And she's like, no, not right now. We got a place to be. I'm like, okay. I said, do you think it's authentic? She gives me a look like, what do you mean? I said,
actually,
do you think it's going to be only Indians working there?
Oh, well, now okay, we could have gone all over the place today. Now you're reminding me, Wab Canute did a press conference today on Buy Canadian, and he did his press conference at a mall in Winnipeg or somewhere, and in the background is a Starbucks. So Wab Canute standing in front of a Starbucks saying Buy Canadian.
It's more Canadian than freaking Tim Hortons. That's for sure.
But people are like, you guys got to figure out your PR because you suck at it. You really, really suck at it. Like,
I got to go back to that Tim's, man. I got to go back there and just...
I thought that was an experiment that came to an end. I thought that about a dozen Tim's had been built in the U.S. and then they didn't succeed. And
there was not one car outside of it.
Okay. Yeah. No, not when you can go to Krispy Kremes or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of independent little places out here, or just different chains, stuff like that. There's one up the way called the Alamo Coffee, and I want to go check that one out.
All right, my Rollins for $20. Perhaps the funniest but worst. I got a call from a buddy back when cell phones were bricks. He got his first truck driving job hauling hay. He tossed a cig out the window and it lit his trailer on fire.
No, that happens. Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, I mean, a bedroom fire starting from people falling asleep while smoking a cigarette. That's happened a lot, or a lot of home fires happen that way, right? Yeah. Oh, that's nasty. Toss a cigarette out and burn your truck. Oof.
Yeah, yikes.
Waniska 5324 for $5 says, Marty, what do you think of Election Alberta opening up mail-in voting now?
Yeah, you're trying to piss me off, aren't you? They know you know how I feel about that one. That happened today. Elections Alberta opened mail-in voting for the October 19th referendum.
That's so bullshit, dude.
It's bullshit. There's a valid reason for mail-in voting. There can be, right? I agree. Like if
it should be stringent, you should not be eligible for unless the very, very specific circumstances.
You're serving in the military, you're in school temporarily in another country, a couple of reasons like that. But in the website, it clearly says you do not need to provide a reason. It's just open. Mail-in voting is just a new right, and I disagree. That's just fraud. It's fraught with. It's just too easy to. And I went to the system just to. Again, I did. I've been doing that lately. Thank God I got a bunch of fake accounts. Use your fake accounts and go see what it's all about. And I don't like it. Don't like it.
No. Sounds like Minnesota.
Yeah.
I think it's Mrs. B. Murray for 100 gems. High five.
Okay. You get a high five with the 100 gems. Thank you for the 100 gems. Appreciate it.
Oh, Javelin Blue for $2. I'm tired of immigrants. Want them gone.
I don't want them all gone, but I wanted stop for a while. We need to stop it. We need to, like, immigrants. There's lots of great immigrants that played an important role in our lives, in our country. I'm not against immigration. We've said this a million times. Not against immigration. I'm against out of control immigration. There was a video this week. Actually, Clyde, find that video, UG. It was on my timeline. It was a video of the Canada Customs person that bullshit border crossing.
Oh, the Nigerians that were just sitting there.
Yeah, the officer's like, "Do you still have a valid visa?" Blah blah. She's asking the question. The guy literally says, "I want to," and she says, "You realize if you come in, it's illegal." And he's like, "I want to come in illegally." Like, he admits that he wants to come in illegally, and they're like, "Okay, welcome aboard. Come on."
And then there's a certain point where someone just gets out of a taxi and just walks across, and then they're all like, "Oh, we don't need to argue with this lady that's nagging us."
No, just give her your bags; she'll carry them for you. Yeah, exactly.
It's
still going
unbelievable.
on, and that's the stuff we like.
So that's the thing.
Who...
In the United States of America, if you illegally cross the border, you get detained immediately. You go to a detention center, and then you're deported. They take your ID, and then they make it so you cannot enter. You'll be banned for entering for X amount of time, and who knows how long you'll be in that detention center before you get sent home. So,
yeah,
that's this one here.
Yeah, maybe I don't know if it's
so tiny. Yeah, but this is the one.
Does anybody have a valid visa currently for the United States, even if it expires soon? Yes. Are you aware that the very minute you cross this border, your status in the United States is nullified?
Yes.
Okay. Have you started a refugee claim in the United States?
No.
Is there a reason why you have not?
What?
Is there a reason why you're choosing not to do a refugee claim status in the United States, as opposed to traveling to Canada to do the very same thing?
The benefits are drying up.
Must not hear from us first.
Pardon? Yes. Do you know that there is a legal port not 3 kilometers from here where you can enter the country legally through the channels that are established? Yes? This is not a legal port of entry. This is an illegal point. This is not a way to go. Okay.
So anyway,
it just goes on.
And then later a guy walks through, and then they all just walk through. So like it's ridiculous that the government would send, they would send RCMP officers there. I've said this forever. Every time there's an illegal port, make it a legal port, and put CBSA there.
Yeah,
and people would just stop coming.
Yeah. Put a building there. They had buildings, by the way. There's buildings there. There's all sorts of buildings there.
Yeah.
So put a NATCO trailer and put a sign on there that says Canada Border Security. Done. Yeah.
End of story.
End of story. I don't know why they don't do it. Or shut it down and put a wall, or put a wall that's 50 feet high and whatever, 14 miles wide. I don't care. Yeah, one or the other. But then people say, well, it's not an illegal point of entry. It's an irregular point of entry.
No, it's illegal.
It's
illegal. That's some stupid BS made up term, irregular port of entry.
Just my quick story.
I was doing some irregular shopping today, and then they told me it was shoplifting. I disagreed. I was just walking out with my irregular groceries. Like, screw off, man.
No, and I'm surprised that port's still open. It should be closed, but yeah. Welcome to.
Was that Roxham Road?
I think it is. Yeah.
Welcome to Canada. That's the best way in.
They actually carry their bags once they cross the border. There's plenty of videos of RCMP officers helping these people and carrying their bags.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. Javin Blue for 2 says Canadians are so stupid.
Some, many.
Many.
I don't understand. Yeah, Javin Blue for 5 says there was a video of a bunch of East Indians shooting in a bush recently. They had Tavor,
yeah.
95, 556. Where's our RCMP?
They're nowhere to be found.
No.
That's it. You know what's gonna happen is, like, people are gonna take their legally acquired guns and they're gonna go out with their Tavors. They're gonna go out with their AR-15s and then go shooting, film it, whatever. and challenge it. See what they do. Like this is what's going to end up happening because new Canadians or whatever going out and just flagrantly breaking the law, and they
Yeah,
say, well, okay, where's the disparity here? You're
yeah, I
not.
know, but I feel that way. I feel like challenging it. I do feel like challenging it. I feel like saying, screw it. When I go hunting next month, I'm going to bring a sidearm, even though it's illegal, but I'm going to bring a sidearm for my safety. I feel like challenging it, but between you and me, you know what would happen, right? The Indian guy challenging it doesn't get any kind of repercussion. If I challenge it and I get pulled over by a forestry officer or an RCMP officer and I have a handgun, what do you think they're going to do to me?
Oh, they'll come. They'll take it. They'll go into your house. They'll take everything you got.
Absolutely. They'll make an example of a law-abiding white guy. They'll make an example of. That's yeah.
But
did you see that story?
It's only a matter. It's only a matter of time before somebody does it, though, and then that gets all over the news, and they'll be like, "Okay, here's the disparity." There it is.
We missed a couple of stories this week too. We didn't talk about the Pat King story, and we didn't talk about the Tamara Lich story. Right? Tamara's in court trying to. Tamara. I don't know if she got invited to the White House, but I think Tamara got invited to the White House. So she's in court trying to get permission to go and travel to the U.S. as a journalist for Rebel News. And so that's pretty interesting. And then Pat King, well, his conviction got overturned or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's something else.
Yeah, it's Tamara to join cruise. I don't know what the Pat King one is. I'll have to look that up.
Just type in Pat King overturn or bullying or intimidation. Pat King intimidation.
Wow. So you've been acquitted of what he was charged with.
And then with Tamara, it's all about the fact that what is it? What's the headline? Or you can play it, I guess.
So he's talking about. It's 6 minutes long, but
it's too long. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's it's lawfare, man. They're not done going after Pat King and Tamara and Chris and all the others. It's just ongoing.
They were too influential, right?
Yeah.
they actually set the government back really, really far in what they were trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Not to mention the Netherlands too. They got a different party in there.
Yeah. Absolutely. The Netherlands changed forever because of those truckers in Canada.
Javin Blue for 5 says further the way from Canada, the better. Hey, Clyde.
Well, he's still next door. He's.
I'm just at the front door, right?
Yeah,
y'all are at the back door. It's a long trek to get to the back door.
Mm-hmm. The new one, Kitty the Prepping Cat for $7. Hi all, congrats Clyde for your move from my U.S. family and us. Hi Marty, question, my crossbow represents my religion. Do you like them?
Yeah. There will be, it was an interesting, there was a lot of interesting challenges brought up. I had no idea how deep the Supreme Court ruling on that was. Like the Supreme Court ruled that they could bring it in, but when you interpret the Supreme Court rules of why a Kirpan is allowed, then everybody brings up very validly, then I should be allowed to bring a handgun anywhere. I mean, but yeah. It would have to be challenged, and the challenges are complicated. That's the problem, right? That was another thing that I got to experience this week. Oh yeah, I told you guys this last week. I finished. Remember, I told you I was going to court last Thursday, and I did go to court. Mm-hmm. It wasn't for me. I went to court for my son, and my son had a doozy of a speeding ticket. And we were successful, but representing yourself in our country, our institutions make it incredibly difficult for a private citizen to represent themselves and have access to the systems that are there to protect us. Like, it's very hard. It's intimidating and it's brutally hard. So I don't want to go to court on purpose. Like it's stacked against us. totally stacked against us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And well, and this other law that just reminded me. So I don't know if you remember, there was a lawsuit between some young YouTuber guy and the Northern Perspective. So that was decided. That got finished. That the finale on that. So they what was it? All of this stuff about connecting the kid with autism and incest and all of that was dismissed. That was dismissed. But the judge found it that it was defamatory to call them grifters and frauds. So they were awarded $25,000.
Well, there was a homeless guy last week who got convicted, and he was fined $1.5 million in a defamation lawsuit in Canada.
A homeless guy.
Yeah, homeless guy.
Okay, because they're gonna get $1 million.
Don't even, maybe we'll bring up that story next week, or bring it up real quick. Try and find it, like homeless man. Type in the word groomer. That might get us in trouble, but he accused somebody of being a groomer. And then he got charged and he lost the case. So he has to pay something like $20,000 in fees and $1.5 million in a settlement. And the guy's homeless.
That's crazy.
Welcome to Canada.
Yeah, because like this came up in conversations I was having this week. Because people always say that Americans are litigious, and yeah, you have all the like personal injury lawyer stuff that's all over the place, and you see the ads all the time on TV. But in Canada, it seems to be like this defamation stuff.
Well, who's
keeps
that crazy
popping up.
lady that goes around, like the trans lady who's been filing all sorts of lawsuits? The one who wanted her privates fucking shaved and
Jonathan Yaniv that turned into
whatever.
Jessica Simpson.
That guy's in court all the time with these kinds of frivolous cases.
He goes through the tribunals. But the YouTuber couple, they went through the actual genuine court system. And so there's a dangerous precedent here, right? It's the idea that somebody said something mean about you to like 100 people on a 3 a.m. live stream. And then you're gonna have this revenge, take him through the court system. And then, he's a young guy, he's like in his early 20s, trying to defend himself. And like, he said mean stuff, whatever. He said mean stuff, but at the same time, it's like, get over yourself. Get over yourself. You're gonna try to get 25 grand. They were suing for 150 grand. They got 25 grand out of this young guy because they got their feelings hurt. These are the same people that are trying to champion freedom of speech. Like, what the hell are you doing? This is gonna put a huge chill on freedom of speech because everybody's gonna be afraid. Well, if I offend somebody, they're going to sue me and they're going to put me through In the United States, there's anti-slap legislation, and then there's also a huge burden of proof. So you have to prove that you actually lost.
There's damages. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, you have to prove damages. In Canada, I guess you don't have to do that. You can just say like, oh yeah, well, he said this to 150 people on the internet. And then I'm deserving of, economic ruin of a young dude. I can't get behind this. So, sad day in Canada when YouTubers are suing over hurt feelings.
Yeah.
Bummer.
So Javin Blue for 5 says, one thing I've noticed about liberals is they behave like children. Like, haven't you noticed the arrogance of Canadians?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's an emotional response, right? That's what it is.
Yep, absolutely is.
Yeah.
Well, that's Carney when especially Carney when he's being interviewed now. Like, he's literally walking away. He doesn't even want to. He doesn't even want to bother with Canadians. He hired a COO. He doesn't even want to bother with Canadians. Like, Carney, like, I can't be bothered. He said it. He's literally said it. He said it in French. He got asked something, and I can't remember what he said in French, but he basically said, I can't be bothered. That's not important. I don't care. It's like,
who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Well, people are homeless and starving. I don't care. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, Mr. Roscoe Pico, member for 44 months. USA should turn the natural gas off to Ontario.
Well, we're in that range. I mean, we're kind of there, right, with the bridge and other things. I mean, we're getting close to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's only going to hurt Canada. I mean, there would be some Americans that would suffer for it, but it would be short lived. The infrastructure would be built, and then it would again when they cut off the supply to you, and then the dust settles. We're not buying that shit from you anymore. It's never happening again. Find another customer, but you can't find another customer for these products because you don't have a port. You don't have the products going to port. That's it.
Yep. Ben Nierenberg, 1,000 gems, a loot box.
Hey, we got to find out what these gems are.
Well,
or unless you're going to get something physically delivered, you get a knock, and all of a sudden you get a big parcel, and there's a goat in a box, and that could be funny.
Well, if it's one penny for one gem, and you send what 1,000 gems, that's $10, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
2 gems.
Well, and hang on, and I've also we know the colors mean something, right? Usually, green is sort of the $5, and what's blue usually, and so there's a value. So if somebody, something the same.
Blue's I think blue's like the $2.
$2, okay.
Yeah, just going through past super chats. Yeah. So they correlate with the color.
Okay.
Yeah. Got Javin Blue for 5. Natives have always used victimhood as political currency. Very angry with them. Rip up the treaties.
Yep.
Yeah. It's always a victim thing.
It's been called for this week. A lot of people called on that. I mean, remember that graph I showed you at the beginning, the one that the box that showed where Canada spends money. Like the amount of money spent on First Nations is more than we spend on OAS, but like the number is staggering when you think that there's only 250,000 carded Indians in Canada, and we spend like $80 billion on them, and there's something like 7 million seniors getting old age security.
That's crazy.
It's completely crazy. I mean, there was somebody like you can see it right there in the bottom corner there. UG, somebody put X's. Like I posted. Somebody legitimately said, yeah, you could cancel all these things. I'm like, I don't disagree. You could actually cancel the old age security. Like, why are we paying for people to retire who haven't saved a dime for their entire lives? Like most people, if you save money, if you're diligent and you save money, you won't qualify for old age security. So old age security is only for people who didn't spend who never set aside a dime. And but on that list, there was a whole bunch of things. People like, why are we spending $20 billion on unemployment benefits when we claim that the country has a shortage of workers and we need to import temporary foreign workers? Like it's a valid question, right? It's a valid question. So take away the benefits. Take away the benefits and see what happens. I guarantee you, people will work. Why are people not accepting a job that pays $18 an hour cleaning hotel rooms? Because they can get $18 an hour.
It's an economic decision. It absolutely is. Because here's the thing, like a lot of people will say, okay, well, I'm getting paid the equivalent of $15 an hour to sit at home. If I got an $18 an hour job, I really am only getting $3 an hour.
Yep.
And I'm losing a ton of my free time.
Bingo.
Free time that I can do whatever I want with, right? So for $3 an hour, people are happy to sit at home. You need to just make sitting at home much more expensive. That's totally. And how do you do that? You remove the possibility of doing it.
And not only are they sitting at home, but we're paying them other things while they're sitting at home. We're giving them internet access because, well, that's cruel to have somebody sit at home without the internet. And then we're giving them whatever. It's crazy. It goes on and on and on. And get rid of half those. Whoever put the X's, I didn't want to do the X, but I'm glad somebody else did. And it made you think, why would we pay unemployment insurance? Why? It makes no sense.
Exactly.
Myron's gifted 5 Clyde Do Something memberships.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And if you're in the chat and you got one of those memberships, make sure you give Myron and a big old thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Got Javon Blue for 5. Says, sorry, Marty, I'm done with immigrants. My buddy applied for 300 jobs. Nothing. He changed his last name to Singh. Got a call.
We talked about that last week. I think probably
Shut up.
probably on the comment by Javelin. Absolutely. That's documented. That is 100% documented. Change your last name and you'll get a call.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Matt Baker, 87 for 5, says the boomers are the most propagandized yet most influential demographic in Canada, who gave the libs the W in 2025 because they hate Trump so much.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's going to backfire on them when.
I think it will, because they're not going to be the biggest voter demographic after a while. And here's the thing: neither are their youth. Like, their children are not going to be the biggest demographic after. Their biggest demographic are going to be foreigners that give two shits about them. And so the first thing on the chopping block for that voting demographic is we don't want to pay for the boomers anymore. Cut them off. We don't care about them. So yeah, the last surviving boomers are going to get hit the hardest.
Yeah, Myrone's for $50. Thank you, Myrone's.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm not against immigration. I have an East Indian guy and family near me. He immigrated properly. He worked as a delivery driver, now built a shop to make kitchen cabinets. He has skill and is one I could get behind. Super nice guy, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
we
what we
think
want.
we're
We
clear
want
on
people
that.
like that to come.
We're 100% clear on that. We're not against immigration. We don't want it out. We want it to slow down so that people can have time to integrate. But I'll go one step further, though. I do want some selection. There are some immigrants that I don't need here. I don't need them. I don't need that. I don't need a goof who's going to wear a kirpan in the gym and make a big deal about it and keep asking for another mile. I don't need you. You know what? Next time, don't let him in at the door. Done.
Yeah. I couldn't disagree. The other one is
we don't have to say anything. We're on the same page. Yeah.
No. But the other thing is refugees. I think that the refugee program is broken entirely. The whole concept after the Second World War for taking on refugees was the idea that a neighboring nation would house people so that they're not affected by the conflict while it's happening. And then when the conflict ends, they go home. And we're not a neighboring nation to Syria or Lebanon or any of these places. We're not a neighboring nation to these places. If the United States was having an issue, sure, Canada could have Americans come up to Canada temporarily until the dust settles, and then they can go back and rebuild their country. Vice versa. Bring Canadians down to the United States. I think right now we should have refugees from Canada. Just anybody who wants to work hard, period, or has skills. That could be something to argue. But that's permanent immigration. Nonetheless, refugees, they should only be going to their neighboring countries. That was the agreement in the beginning. Go to the neighboring country, be housed for a period of time, and then go home. It shouldn't be ever a permanent route to immigration. That's not what it was designed for, and that's not what the agreements were.
Right.
Javelin Blue for 5 says there was an African who went to a parts store in the U.S., said something wrong with his battery, lays down an alternator. Oh.
That was a video on the internet this week, and the owner of the store, I think it was like a Napa Auto Parts or whatever, said, "I don't need to serve you. Like, get out of here." And the guy was demanding to be served. It's like, no, I don't need to. Like, if you're going to be an idiot, if you're going to be an ass, I don't need to serve you. And if on top of being an ass, you're an idiot, then yeah, get out of my store. Yeah, that's what the guy was doing. He was bringing an alternator and saying he wanted a new battery or whatever, and he was hard to understand.
Oh.
Yeah, I work in that place now. Yeah.
A Napa?
Like a parts store. One guy at the counter, every time he's just like, they don't speak English.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal.
Okay, this is weird. So 10 gems gets you a happy poop?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like something YouTube would do. Seriously, YouTube sells happy poops? Like, that's...
Wait, are these people filling it in, or is it just popping up as like what it's supposed to be? Or like, is it random? Is YouTube popping that in there, or are the people writing that in there? I don't know.
Don't
Looks
know.
pretty random.
Myron's for 20. Liberals are largely retired, do not have jobs to lose. That's why they don't care.
Yeah, there was something that what was it?
Well, I'd say that about
Brian Lilly
boomers for
said.
sure. I would say that about boomers, right? Like, what was the last
Brian
year
Lilly.
of the boomers? The last I'm a Gen X and I was born in 67. I think the last boomers were born in 1965. So the last boomers were born in 65 plus, let's say, 65 years equals 2030. So right now there are 4 years of boomers left. There potentially still 4 years worth of boomers in the workforce. The ones that are whatever, the very youngest ones. But yeah, not, and they are the quintessential liberals, absolutely. And then so to that point, 95% of boomers are no longer working. They had a glorious life. They had all sorts of perks, all sorts of services. They're all retired. They're all sitting on the big homes. But what I don't understand is, and you and I have talked about this, they should be scared shitless because their house, they think their house is worth something. It's not worth anything. The money supply has devalued their house. Plus, the liberals are eyeing taxing the shit out of their house. They will pay a capital tax. I'm sure of it. I'm 100% sure they'll pay capital gains.
Well, that's another thing, a great thing that Donald Trump did. Everybody's screaming Orange Man bad, but what does he do? This week, he got rid of the inheritance tax.
What? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. So farmers who, they want to pass the farm on to their kids, they don't get strapped to this giant financial burden right out of the get-go, right after they're mourning the death of their loved ones. It's crazy.
He is going after the farmers good, right? Like, he's being nice to the farmers. He knows where his demographic is. I mean, he passed that right to repair bill last month too, and now he's doing the inheritance one. Okay, he's going to win a lot of favors from the farmers. Good for him.
Oh, they're happy. They're happy, absolutely.
And then let the Mandamis of the world, piss off the New Yorkers.
Oh, Brian Lilly. Brian Lilly had
Mark Carney doesn't want a deal because fighting with Donald Trump is too politically valuable for him. It's too politically valuable for Doug Ford, for David Eby. They enjoy it. They know that there is a large section of the Canadian population, and it's spread right across this country. It's all the people that voted for Mark Carney that are excited about him, that think he's great. His approvals rating hasn't been higher. They all love him fighting with Donald Trump. Most of them retired. And so losing your job at the local plant because trade with the U.S. is drying up doesn't affect them. They're living off their retirement savings, which is heavily invested in the S&P 500 in New York. I think we could have struck.
He nailed it. He absolutely nailed it right there. Like Brian Lilly, sometimes he has bad takes. Sometimes this is one of his great takes. Absolutely.
Yeah, Alberta and for independence, 1,000 gems. Cheers.
Thank you for the gems.
And Mrs. B. Murray, 350 gems, finger heart.
I don't know what that means, but
I have no idea what that means.
One of those, right? Finger hearts.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And they got Bird Dog Bush Beater.
I like that name.
Since CA could make digital communications insecure, I've removed my email and phone from all my CRA accounts and switched to snail mail. CRA can suck the extra cost and support Canada Post too.
Oh, that's clever. What? Okay, I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I still do that, but they're trying to force us out of that. I mean, hang on. I agree. Hang in there. Force them to mail to you. Resist digital ID as long as you can. I'm totally in favor of that.
Wow. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Myron's for 10 says, I think you have some spammers. So maybe in the chat there.
Tonight?
Oh, do we?
Oh, in the chat overall?
Maybe. Yeah, I haven't been looking that closely, but yeah.
Peter. I know Peter's in there. Take care of him.
Yeah. And that is all the chats.
All right. That's awesome. Yeah, it worked out. We only went almost 20 minutes over. That's fine.
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, starting at 6:30 is fantastic. I thanks for reminding me because I would have. You might have been knocking on my phone or texting me, going, "Marty, where the hell are you?" And we eat late, so we had to eat a little bit earlier, which is okay. I think in the winter, starting even earlier would be fine because it gets so freaking dark here, right? And my clock is, so maybe we'll do this for another couple of months, but come September, October after hunting, maybe we push it even an hour earlier.
Okay.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah, well, we'll see how because I got to get on a regular routine.
Yeah.
But then once we're on a regular routine, because I got used to doing 6:30, and if I push it an hour earlier, then for me it's 6:30.
Right. So you're back to yours, but then it pushes me. 6:30 would be 5:30. Now I'm 2 hours earlier. So, but I'm okay with 6:30 in winter. Honestly, in winter I'm okay. Right now, I kind of like enjoying the you know the daylight. It's still daylight outside. You're probably in the dark right now, right? Not too bad.
I got a curtain here, so I can't see. It's dark now. Yeah. It's dark outside.
Yeah, I still got good daylight. Sadly, the days are getting shorter, but
oh, well, it's 10 o'clock. Holy cow, it's 10 o'clock here. So yeah.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Well, we'll do it again, same time next week, everybody. So if you're on the West Coast, it'll be 5:30. If you're in Ontario, if you're on Terrible or in with Eastern time, then it'll be 5. Sorry, that's 8. Is that 8:30? Yeah, 8:30. Moving it around. Central time, 7:30 Central time. We'll see you all next week. Thank you all for joining in.
Thank you.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
folks.